X Platinum card, you can earn 5 times membership.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Elite Encounters and our complete playthrough of Paizo's Bloodlord's Adventure Path for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I'd like to give a special welcome out there to the Elite. That's everybody out there that is currently subscribing to our channels, liking, following on Twitch, subscribing on Twitch. And if you're watching on YouTube out there, we are simulcasting now on YouTube. If you'd subscribe out there on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate that, because all that support out there helps bring this content out to additional viewers, which is ultimately what we like to do. And everyone that's out there watching, if you could also check out the Patreon. We have some new tiers out there that have all kinds of great physical rewards for those particular subscriptions to throw a little financial support our way. So before we get going on a recap, I do have a couple things. First off, to start the session, welcome everybody. We all know who everybody is, so we'll just get right to handing out our hero points, our skull bones.
Skull bones. I really hope I don't need this.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
You only get one to start, but you know you might get additional as the game goes on. And then I'm going to go into my favorite segment. I don't know, maybe it's my least favorite segment. The reason being is because it's the part where I talk about what I screwed up last time. But I have a few things to talk about in a segment called Actually.
That's right.
So today on Actually, a few things. So first of all, last time we met, somebody mentioned at the table that a certain spell was the greatest spell in the game. And I'd like to point out something about the greatest spell in the game. And I'm talking about guidance.
Yep.
So we were using guidance a lot. And if you look at the very last line of the spell guidance, what does that say?
It says it's the greatest spell in the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
That's not how I saw it.
It says the target is temporarily immune for an hour.
For 1 hour, right. So, so it's still a great spell.
Yes.
I'm not besmirching or belittling your use of guidance or anybody's use of guidance at the table at all. However, we can't do it like every little task, every little roll. Like I think we were struggling with getting the scythe out of Mosguda.
We
so
were.
It was just guidance. And you know, that's I think one of the number one things people do, especially people who are playing spellcaster characters, is they get excited about that spell and the effects that it gets. And then that very last line is, actually, it also has this.
Actually,
right?
Your spell sucks.
So it doesn't suck, but we just can't spam it. It's not spammable, but it's still great.
Yeah.
So keep throwing it out.
Yep.
Because like we said last time, every little +1 in this game certainly counts.
100%. Which is why that's there.
Yes. So yes, exactly. We do have to kind of limit that, and I get it. The second thing is. We were talking about how to identify magic items. We have potentially found a magic item already in this campaign. Possibly. And to identify a magic item, as long as it just has the magic trait with no special tradition of magic on that magical item, any of your traditions that you have skill in, you can use to identify that item, right? So, yeah, I'm just going to say that right there. We'll let you guys figure out what you want to do with that information, but actually you can identify this magic item. And I think we touched on that last time, but it kind of got glossed over. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware. Another thing I gave you for free was identifying that anti-plague, okay? I said if you're untrained in crafting, you can just make a roll and identify it. Actually, identifying alchemy is a trained action under the craft skill. So you got to be trained in crafting, and you have to have alchemical tools to identify an alchemical item. So maybe you're just well versed in a previous life in that particular, whatever. You get one for free. That's your last one, though. What's that?
He used to count them.
He used to count anti-plagues.
Just in case.
What a
Every grain of
horribly
powder.
boring job that must have been.
And you know how he likes to label things too.
Yeah,
Putting a label on a bottle would be right up Mert's alley.
very meticulous, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I understand, Mert. I feel you. And then one last thing for actually, and it's just going to kind of be a blanket thing. We kind of had a combat that started off where one side was, I kept saying, they don't even notice you coming up. They don't even notice you coming up. Well, that's a thing in the rule set. You were unnoticed. So we went in rolling initiative, and we did this whole surprise round. And I mean, I completely screwed the pooch on that combat. Let's just be honest. But we've had some discussions off air. I've done a lot of research off air. It ain't gonna happen again. We'll do it right, or close to right as we can this time. So stay tuned for next week's actually, as we
When
figure
we
out
don't
what
do
I
it right.
screwed up this week. Because invariably, I'm a human being. It's gonna happen. There's a lot of pressure behind this screen. I don't know.
Sure. Well, hopefully viewers learn as we learn to play the system as intended.
Exactly, and that's honestly one of the main reasons that I like doing actually is because I am a teacher at heart, and I like if I can learn from my mistakes, what better way to share that and teach others, and maybe some other people out there can learn from that. And if you already do know and you're just looking at me and laughing, well, okay, that's fine too.
Hope you enjoyed actually.
Yeah, so that's it for actually, okay, for this time. So what happened last time? Let's talk about what happened last week on Bloodlords. So you guys had defeated Mosguda, and you spent some time recovering the scythe from Mosguda's carcass. It took a lot of work
Yeah,
and a lot of casting of guidance,
and a lot of guidance.
but we finally got it out. There was some hacking and there was some bashing, but we finally yanked that thing out. And you decided it was time to go rest because the sun was certainly coming up. And one of our party members absolutely cannot be in the sun. And speaking of, unfortunately, Sarah can't be here tonight to play Persephone. So please get well, Sarah. Hopefully you feel better and you're back next week. We'd love to see you back at the table. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and hop behind the driver's seat for Persephone. So I'm sure we'll have more actually on me playing a fighter behind doing all that stuff. We'll see. Fighter, it's a fighter.
Oh boy.
Hit and hit.
Hit and hit
Swing and hit.
and demoralize or something. We'll see.
You have some big shoes to follow.
I do.
Expect,
I
expect
hope.
natural 20s coming out the,
I don't know
wazoo.
what was going on with her dice last week,
In
but
our
they were
favor.
hot.
Yeah, the
right?
triple nat 20
In
is
our
like
favor.
Yeah.
Your
something you
favor.
see
Yeah.
a couple times in your career of tabletop,
Yeah.
let alone
Right.
episode 2 right off the bat.
Statistically, yeah,
No.
ridiculous. So speaking of dice, I do have a new set of dice that I was gifted this weekend by my wife that have, again, skulls on the max number. So we'll see if those dice roll hot for me or if they roll hot for Persephone or if they roll terribly for me. And then if they do roll terribly, we'll just have to retire them. Sorry.
Just like that.
But thank you, Angela, for the wonderful skull dice.
To be
I
loved
can't
is to
wait
be
to
known, yeah.
roll them. Okay. So then you guys basically camp through the day because a member of your party can't be in the sunlight. So you found a secure area to rest for the night. Everything passed uneventfully. You woke up the next evening. This is gonna be hard to say. Then you wake up the next evening and get to work dealing with more of the farm, right? Exploring more of the farm. You found some zombie horses and zombie dogs. You dispatched those easily and started investigating the silos where you found a strange gray-pink dust incorporated into the grain or sprinkled over the grain, which you later figured out was brain grit, right? Brain grit itself is just something that causes mild headaches in living people, or the quick as we call them. Further exploration found a human with another one of those cloaks with that embroidered symbol of the three-fingered hand. On that guy, you found some gray paste in a satchel. And that gray paste you figured out was something called tremor paste. That in and of itself doesn't really hurt people or horribly make them sick. It just causes some muscle spasms and some tics. So, what is this stuff even being used for? What's the point? That's part of what we're figuring out. You explored the rest of the farm and found an ancient structure. You rescued a zombie field hand or charge hand named Sifect, or Sif for short. He rewarded your rescue of him with a chain, which I think Bird has now taken that chain. 40 feet of chain.
Good chain.
It is a great chain. I laughed and said it was 30 bulk, but we have determined that that's not the case. It's a little less than that.
About half of what most characters can
It's
carry.
still
but-
a lot of weight. Hopefully you could put it to good use. And then you discovered a well in the room where Sifect was hiding, or Sif was hiding. And behind that was a chamber with a table that had all kinds of harvested goods on it, jars of vegetables, baskets of rotting food, and a motto on the wall that Ophelia figured out was an indication that this person, Old Irga, who lived here who knows how long ago, was actually a cannibal. And that's kind of where we left off. After rescuing Sif, you're in this chamber. You had experienced this vision, rolling the bones there,
Yep.
Lysander,
Yep.
and saw this act of eating this flesh. And we'll kind of come back to that now, where you have the rest of the farm to deal with. And Sif is, full from his snack that you guys provided for him.
Yeah, the guy in the gate, his name was Lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Mert, I don't know if you took stock or inventory of what we all have here on the farm. Do you know how much we have left?
I think there was just a few buildings on the far corner of the farm we haven't checked. We've checked most of the grounds.
I feel like our task is almost finished as far as exploration. Then we got to figure out how to fix this place.
That's not going to be very easy for myself.
Yeah.
I have very limited ability to interact with the physical world.
It's not going to be easy for myself, and I can interact with everything in the physical world. Yeah.
We have Sif.
Sif, help.
You're a great help, Sif.
Sif, is there?
He's
Do you
gonna
have
be.
any friends around?
No friends. Sif new to farm, in training. Run and hide.
Live to fight another day, Sif. Live to fight another day.
Not alive.
Who's gonna yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Unlive to farm
Unlived.
another day.
Yeah, unlived to farm another day. Yeah. I think that at this point, Lysander's going to just start heading out toward the remainder of the farm. And I think as I'm kind of walking that direction, I'm just like, Sif, what's in these buildings down here? I'm just trying to use him for, like forward scouting based on what his knowledge is in this area.
Okay, sure. So as you're kind of coming back out of the underground structure, or kind of the structure that's built into the hill, he points out, just south of that ruined paddock where you guys killed Moscuda, there is a structure that's almost half collapsed. He points to that and says, Moscuda's stall, gardens, zombie barn. Zombie barn is a building that is completely intact. The door is shut in the southeast corner of the farm compound.
We've already encountered one zombie barn, and that's where we wound up camping out.
Correct, yeah. He pointed that out as, he explained that that's where they put them when the day's work is done. They just throw them in there and stack them up. Sometimes have contest. Fit most zombies winner.
Have you ever won?
No. Been training.
All right.
So what are the chances that the zombie barn, that it's intact, actually has zombies in it that we can use?
Hopefully some that aren't out of control. We need all the help repairing this place we
We
can
only
get.
have Sif as a charge hand, and he's in training.
Well, I'd say we can go check it out. If we listen at the door, maybe
Yeah.
we can get an idea if there's something going on in there.
So you guys decide to move that way through the gardens, past Moscuta's old broken stall. And as you get closer, a few of you start to notice that there are low growls and kind of a pounding sound coming from that structure.
From Moscuta's stall or the zombie barn?
The zombie barn in the southeast corner.
Gotcha.
Moscuta's stall is essentially just a ruined shell of a building.
Yeah.
In fact, half of it is completely collapsed. You can see as you're walking past kind of in the building as your light starts to illuminate those shadows approaching that building. There doesn't seem to be really anything in there. It is just a wreck. Probably Moscuta went a little bonkers in his stall before continuing his rampage outside.
Yeah.
So we'll put you on the map right now, because as you're getting closer, the pounding and the scratching and the growling gets louder and louder. Who's leading this band of
Merry Misfits.
compatriots, co-workers?
At the very least, I think Mert and I are walking together because he has the light on him and I need the light to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'd be a little bit in front of Lysander.
That's right. Persephone out front.
All right. So I've kind of got you in the a formation like this. Is everyone happy with that?
Looks good to me.
Okay.
No, I'd like a recount, please.
Okay. First off, we'll have to figure out which mini has hanging chads. Okay. You start moving and edging a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And it's at that moment that the door to the barn actually bursts open, and boiling out of it is a number of zombies. And we'll roll for initiative.
Oh dear. Jeez. I don't like the sound of a number.
Yeah.
A number.
Yeah.
As
And
in
boiling
More
out.
than one.
As in
boiling.
the most you've seen so far on the farm.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And so that'll kick us into our first encounter of the night, full-on combat mode. Are you ready?
Bam, let's go.
Ready.
No, I'm not ready, but okay.
Mert, what's your initiative?
23.
I don't think anybody was doing anything other than observing as they were walking by, so we'll use perception for that. Lysander?
12.
12. Persephone?
That's you.
That is me. I gotta get used to that. Okay.
Oh, wait.
All right, let me take a look. Hey, who said that? That's not me. Okay, let's see here. Okay, not bad. All right. So, Lysander, I have tied you. Persephone has tied you.
She can go first.
You would like to defer to her? Okay, we'll
Absolutely.
call you 12B. Elara?
18.
18, and Ophelia?
8.
8. Okay. I'll put everything in order. You can start thinking about your strategies because things are about to get crazy.
Little crazy.
All right, up first will be Mert.
Okay. I'd like to. I believe I'm within. I have 25 feet of speed. I think I can get there in 50. I'd like to come up beside one of the door, but along one side of the door, with a sudden charge, and then give a swing with whatever's coming out of the door first.
Ooh, right. Yeah, you can get to basically right to there, actually.
Great. Okay.
So yeah, you're right in front of Mr. Brown Pants,
Uh-oh.
who is ready to. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll give it a swing. 13 on the die. About a 20.
A 20 is a hit.
Okay.
Mr. Brown Pants.
That's cocked. Another try. Ho ho! Thank goodness.
Oh.
You're not gonna like this, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, hey.
How about 18 points of damage?
18 points of damage, and this is a slashing weapon I'm taking.
It is.
Okay. So because of that, you may go ahead and dispatch your foe
Okay.
right after I wrote down his hit points on my little board. Okay.
Yeah. So, Mert's kind of erratic form, just moving and ducking and weaving towards the barn, and kind of when he brings that big greatsword across, he basically just like splashes up against the barn wall and basically cuts him almost in half. Collapses.
And 2 pieces of Mr. Brown Pants thud to the dirt. And it's Alara's turn.
All right. Alara is going to get within 30 feet.
Okay. And actually, Mert, don't you have one more action? My bad. With sudden charge, that's
yeah.
2, right?
Well, if I don't have reach to reach into whatever's behind,
You
then I'm happy to stay where I'm at.
don't. Okay.
Yeah,
So
no,
this
that's
guy
fine.
will be off the board.
I
Okay,
guess
so
I can take cover against that wall, right?
perfect use of the third. Yes.
Okay.
Great. So you kind of duck next to that wall and take cover.
Yep.
Okay, Alara, you move forward 30 feet.
Okay. Was that going to be 1 action or 2? Is that going to be 2?
Your speed's 25,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your speed is 25, that was 1 to get to where you're within
Perfect.
30 of Mert.
Oh, not 30.
You want to be within 30 of the zombies?
Yeah, I can't tell from here if it's going to take me 2 actions to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, to get within 30 of the zombies that are in the door, you'll have to move forward a little bit more. Let's see here. You were... Yeah, you'll have to probably take another action to move forward a little bit more to
Okay.
get closer.
Where
Or you
is-
could just let them boil out.
No.
How close am I to Persephone? Because she hasn't gone yet.
She is right behind you, about 10 feet.
Okay. Then I'm gonna wait till the next round, but I'm gonna go ahead and do guidance on Persephone.
Okay, got it. All right, and that guidance is a 2 action?
No, it's just that should just be 1.
Okay.
technically have one more.
Did you have 1 left? Yeah.
Yeah.
You could start to move a little closer if you
Yeah,
like.
let's move a little closer.
All right. Right in the door?
No, no.
We'll go about right there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Love that. Thank you.
And that will bring us to Mr. Blue Pants, who will come shambling out of the door, walk and see Mert in the doorway, and he'll take 1 swipe at you with his clawed fist. That's cocked. Lucky you. Ooh. How about a 26 to hit?
Yeah, just barely.
Okay.
Luckily, that's not a crit though. So
Not a crit. Okay, well that's good. Okay, so in that case, you will take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as this rotten fist slams into you, and that's it for the Blue Pants zombie. Then his compatriot here will come out of the door, move forward to Ilara, and this rotting fist comes swiping at Alara's head, but only gets a 12 to hit you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. And it is Lysander's turn.
Great. So I would like to get within.
Sorry,
Yes,
you
they should
deferred
be
to
Persephone, right?
Yeah,
Should be Persephone. That's not me.
that's not you.
That's
Okay,
you.
that is me. All right, so I see a nice juicy target to run up to, and I'm bearing this brand new scythe I got. So let's see. Okay. This is going to be fun for me. Whoa, okay. Great, okay. So I certainly have connected with the zombie here.
Good deal.
And the damage on this thing is beastly. Okay, so this... Oh, that's... Okay. So she comes up and just slashes all the way down the chest. Black ichor, like the rib cage spreads open and black just spills out. But he's still standing, so I'll take one final swing at it at the map with -5. Okay, she's still pretty good. Hitting that is going to be 18. Even with -5, I managed to connect, and this thing is no more. So I easily drop this zombie here that was trying to get at Alara.
Hey, you're doing a great job over there.
I'm loving it. Yeah, I should just play at home by myself all the time. And it is Lysander's turn.
Great.
See, can't do that at home.
I would like to move within, if I could, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, I just need to be within 30 feet of Mert.
You are?
Great. That's one action for me to move, yes?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to take 2 actions and cast a level 1 rank spell. And I'm going to cast Spirit Link on Mert.
Oh.
That's new.
Spirit Link. You form a spiritual link with another creature taking its pain. When you cast this spell, and at the end of each of your turns, if the target is below maximum hit points, it regains 2 hit points. So you regain 2 hit points. You lose as many hit points as the target regains. This is a spiritual transfer, so no effects apply that would increase the amount of hit points the target regain or decrease the amount of points that I lose. This transfer also ignores any temporary hit points, blah, blah, blah. So essentially at the end of when you cast a spell, at the start of each of my turns. So at the start of my turn, I will take 2 damage and he will heal 2.
Okay. Sounds great.
Cool.
Okay. So that brings us to the man with green pants on. We'll stumble right to the door and see Mert in the door. You're still taking cover. But I don't know that it's going to help. Because this is a 25 to hit you.
Yep, that gets me.
Whew, okay. Oh man, this is 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay, but that is all of its actions. And now this female zombie will come rolling out. And we'll just go straight for the person that I see first, which will be Alara, sadly. Oh no. Okay, this is a 25 to hit you.
Yes, that's definitely going to hit. No,
Okay.
No, what would crit be?
10 over. So
Okay.
if your AC is 15.
Yeah, it's 15. So, yep.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh.
Alara, you will take 8 points of damage.
Okay.
She just couldn't get a solid swing on you, but she is done. It is now Ophelia's turn.
I'm going to move at a angle over there towards Alara, but not. to
Okay,
her.
so at an angle, you mean like towards the maybe the
Yes.
northeast here, to the corner of Moscuta's old ruined stall?
Yes.
Okay.
My
Do you need to
move
be
is
next to her?
25. No.
Okay.
As long as I have a clear line, that's works.
You certainly do, yes.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to cast Phase Bolt.
On Alara? Seems rude.
Oh,
Ah, thought you had cover, did you?
no, on the zombie. That I guess on her.
Okay, the one that just tried to, well, that just did connect with Alara. Yeah.
I got a 12.
A 12
Yeah.
against the zombie shambler is actually a hit.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
my puny damage.
Every little bit is going to matter here.
That is 8.
8 points, and what kind of damage is that? That's your phase bolt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Phase Bolt. Piercing.
Awesome. Okay. So that is the end of round 1. We're up at the top of round 2, and this happens, his healing happens at the end of his turn,
At the start of my turn.
the start of your turn. Okay, great. Merc.
All right. So I now have basically 3 different zombies very close to me. One kind of in the door, jammed to my right.
Yes.
One directly in front of me. One to the left, next to Alara. So,
Yes. Yeah, technically you are still in this square. Yep.
I'd like to take the movement to move out and away from the door and double around, essentially trying to flank with Persephone on the other side of the door casing. Can I do that in 25 feet, potentially?
So if you want to flank with Persephone, that would put you here.
Right.
25 will get you to actually right here, so you won't
Okay,
quite
so I
make
can't
it.
make it all the way. That's fine. I'm happy to move there at least.
Actually, if you move through Alara, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So you are now in a flank diagonally with your ally Persephone.
Excellent. So I'm going to move there and then swing on that zombie.
Okay, and being flanking makes my zombie off guard, -2 to the AC.
So an 18.
18 definitely hits
Okay.
with your slashing weapon.
Oh, another 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. You may go ahead and dispatch your foe, because that one's already eaten a phase bolt.
Yep. I think just kind of circling around it, I find a way to sweep out its legs. And then I'll use my third action to try to make a map attack on the one that's in the doorway right now, or closest to me, right in my face.
Okay,
So
right in your
I'll
face
give that a
is
try.
the blue pants.
Okay.
You never even got to know his real name.
15
Terrible.
with map.
15 with map will connect against this zombie shambler.
It's obviously blue.
This is the third time in a row I've rolled an 11 on my D12. so
Okay, we'll
I'll
have to check
die.
that die too.
That's another 18. So
Another 18 on the blue pants. So that's 18 total?
yeah.
Okay. These enemies take extra damage from a slashing weapon, so you may go ahead and dispatch this foe as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think almost like in that same swipe, just like running and swinging the big greatsword, just nail both of them with one uninterrupted swing.
Fantastic.
And I'm gonna roll this a few times off camera to see if okay. Yeah, see, it's got 3s and 2s in it. We're okay.
Okay,
And a 1. 3, 2, and 1 all in a row. So
Sounds legit.
It's
Okay.
legit dice.
So we're back around now to Avara.
Okay. And we just have the one that's left then?
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
the one with the green pants. Yeah, we'll take this one off as he's now been completely slaughtered.
All right. Well, Alara is going to cast biting words on the remaining zombie.
Oh no. Okay,
And then that is, I do roll for this one.
you do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's see. Oh, wow. Nat 20?
A nat 20.
Nat 20.
Okay, you know what that means.
Time to get those cards out,
It
baby.
is time to get the cards. I'm going to shuffle them nice and shuffly.
Okay.
'Cause,
Bow, 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 bow.
and this is our first spell critical on the show, so these are always insane. Lots of interesting effects come with spells and alchemical attacks. This is called, oh my gosh, I was wondering when this one was going to come up. I've read through these already and I'm dreading some of these. This is called Time Vortex. If this is a spell, it deals normal damage, and the target vanishes and reappears 1d4 rounds later. For those 1d4 rounds, I can use no actions, and any effects that have duration, it doesn't pass while it's gone. So it basically just blinks out of time. Some kind of strange vortex in the time-space continuum erupts in front of it, and it just vanishes.
Okay.
Wow.
That's,
But you go ahead and roll your normal damage for
okay.
for
So
that.
it's, which is 2d6.
Yeah.
That's the last one up too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that was for a total of 11.
Oh,
and
wow,
so
okay.
Alara's going to look at the zombie and go and tell him, "Your mother thought you were ugly in both life and death."
Oh,
Burn.
never knew my mom, and then blinks out of existence. For 1d4 rounds, which I'm going to roll secretly, so you don't know when he's coming back. Okay. Oh boy.
I think you roll a 4.
Okay.
Oh dear.
That brings us to Persephone. That's me. She's looking around like, what just happened? She's frantically looking for an enemy. So she is going to spend 2 actions to ready an action to create a reaction. If this zombie appears again in a square that she threatens, bam, she's going to nail it. Okay, so I'm going to put her in the ready column. So ready is one of those special kind of initiative actions where you can kind of spend a couple actions on your turn to create a reaction scenario. And then for her third action, which she still gets to do, there's not a whole lot I can do with that. Maybe I'll move to where that thing blinked out of existence. That way I have a better shot. Like if it disappeared there, maybe it'll reappear there. That's her guess. That's what she's going to do. Lysander.
Love it. I am going to take an action, and I'm going to move to where I would also be potentially threatening the square that the thing came from,
Interesting. Okay.
if I can.
So I
It
believe
wasn't-
it was right here between these guys. So if you move to this square here, you would potentially be threatening it if it reappears in
Reappears in
that
the
square.
same square, right?
Okay, so that's an action there.
And then I'm going to take 2 actions, and I'm going to ready a reaction in case that thing pops back into existence.
Okay.
Don't forget to take your 2 damage too for my
I
spirit
will.
link.
I
Yep.
will. Also,
Point.
does my reaction have to be like a melee strike?
No, it's just any one action. You just
Okay.
have to set up a trigger and what that action will happen if that trigger occurs.
Great. My reaction will be to cast guidance on Mert.
Oh,
Okay.
Wait, you put guidance on Mert, right? Or did you put it on Persephone?
Remember Stephanie.
It's on
yeah,
Persephone.
I'm on Mert.
cool.
Okay. And I think she's already taken advantage of that +1.
Great.
Okay. So that's it for Lysander?
That's me.
That brings us to Ophelia. You just saw this zombie like roar, and just blinks out of existence. So weird.
I never knew my mom.
Get my mom's name out of your mouth.
Sif, is that you?
I really don't know what's going on, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, I guess prepare to attack the zombie when it reappears, if it does.
Okay. So you're going to spend 2 actions to ready something to attack it? Or are you just going to delay and hop into initiative after it appears?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put you into delay mode. So that way, once it appears and takes its turn, you can come in right after it. Make sense? Okay. Great. That brings us to round 3. Anybody do anything different from last time?
Could I potentially roll Knowledge Arcana to even know if he's ever coming back? I mean, this is something very, very strange that just took.
It is very bizarre, and the DC for this I'll probably have to adjust because of the nature of what happened. But
Right,
yes,
it's
you
totally
can
random.
perfectly do a recall. You can certainly do a recall knowledge with Arcana to see if you can figure out what's going on with the spell effect.
7.
Okay, yeah, you're not even sure what the spell was to begin with.
Right.
You think, maybe he drank an invisibility potion.
Sure.
That seems
So-
to make logical sense.
Yeah. Then I'll just take my other 2 actions to ready if he does reappear. Like maybe he's behind me, maybe he's in the doorway. I don't know where he is.
Okay, so ready to swing if he appears. Alara, anything different from?
Can I use my occultism to recall
Sure.
knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the spell that you cast was what was the tradition of your spells?
Oh.
Are they occult or?
Oh, I don't remember that one. I think that one was biting words. Yeah, it's a cult.
Yeah. All yours should be of the same tradition. Okay. So yeah, you can certainly roll. It was your spell, but that's not normally what it does. So.
She's like,
You can do a recall
normal.
knowledge with occultism to
Okay.
see what the hell
What are they-
happened.
Is that what do I roll for that?
your
So-
cult, and
Yeah.
your D20, and then add your
Okay.
occult score there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So 12 plus 5, 17.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not quite certain what just happened because this is not the normal effect of this spell. You already know that from
Yeah.
last time where you just kind of hurt the guy's feelings and he died.
Yes.
This time, yeah,
disappeared.
did you hurt him so bad he just
Yeah.
decided to just vanish? You're just not sure.
So,
I don't know what this ability you have, but it gets stronger and stronger every
I would
time
say-
you use it.
That's what I'm gonna say. Like, look how good I am.
I know.
Like, he's.
Yeah.
They don't even die. They
Sticks and
flee.
stones may break your bones, but she'll blink you out of existence.
Yeah. She's going to become a professional roast comedian or
Yeah.
something.
He must have left to go call his mom.
100%.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, get to know her better. If you're listening out there, call your mom. She's waiting for you.
Oh boy.
Don't wait till Mother's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't wait till Mother's Day. Call her right now. Persephone? That's me. I'm Persephone today. This is confusing, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did last time.
Great.
Lysander, anything different? Keep in ready mode?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep ready mode, and I don't necessarily like being here, so I'm gonna take a 5-foot step back, and I'm just gonna keep being a hit point battery for Mert, so he can keep slowly healing over there.
Okay, so 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, Ophelia. This is riveting, by the way.
I know this is great.
Okay.
Could you imagine this been like some epic bad guy, like big boss guy, then just gone out of existence?
Yeah, I would have been very upset. Surely there would have been a save, but it doesn't say so on the card. Okay.
Can I see anything into the building that these guys came from?
Ooh, go ahead and give me a perception as you seek out something in the building.
That's not my die today. 10.
A 10. Okay, with a 10, you're not too far away from the door there. You can see into the building, and it just looks like plain dirt floor, very similar to where you camped out yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Day.
Yesterday.
Day.
Okay, we just practice rolling, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they hate me right now.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap around to round 4, Mert.
I think same thing. Just
Same thing?
being
Okay,
weary, and if he reappears, I'm ready for him.
fantastic. Alara?
Alara, thinking that she has, saved the day, is gonna take 10 feet back and just kind of not even.
Okay, maybe you start looking
I'm
at other
gonna start
buildings.
wandering around, looking what's going on.
You're really curious about those cassavas in the garden over
Yeah.
there? Okay. Persephone just kind of readies an action. Lysander, anything new or different or interesting?
I mean, at this point, it's been like 3+ rounds, and I'm gonna take my 2 damage. I'm gonna give him his 2 hit points, and at this point, I'm gonna roll a perception check, and I'm gonna start searching because I think this guy's gone. I don't
Okay.
have any recollection of why this guy would be coming back, or he's gone.
Yeah,
So-
he's currently kind of like unnoticed, undetected, right?
yeah,
You think
so-
he should be there, but he just isn't. So
Yeah.
yeah, you could start seeking out,
I'm not looking for him now. I think I'm just.
looking for something
Yeah,
else.
I'm just like, okay, this guy's gone. We stood here for 18 seconds,
18 seconds
and he's
that
gone.
Seems silly. Okay.
So yeah, now I'm just like, well,
And
screw all this.
On we
Sure.
go.
That's cocked. 7.
You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Do you want to do anything else?
I don't know that I would like to not try to metagame the thing. I don't know that I think he would just be like,
We won.
yeah, this is over. I don't know why we're all just kind of standing here. Like, who's going to check the barn? And he's just kind of having this dialogue with everybody around. Like,
I wonder if you should consult the bones on this matter.
I mean, I certainly can.
How long does that take?
So it says, so my it's like recall knowledge. It runs like lore by fortune telling.
Okay. So
so-
yeah, that's something you could probably knock out in a couple
We'll
actions
see.
here while you're waiting.
According to the bones, if you want my actual roll though, but according to the bones, it's unanimously yes. So that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay. Unanimously
fortune-telling.
yes to what kind of a question were you asking?
So I think Lysander is this is silly. Like, why are we all standing here? Clearly, Urgathoa has just vamped this guy out of existence. Like, she broke him so bad that he is now in constant retreat. This is silly that we're just kind of all standing here, and so it's time to move on. And that's where he's kind of
I
like,
agree, and it's at that time that it actually does appear in the exact same spot it was before, triggering Mert's reaction
see,
and triggering Persephone's reaction.
I summoned it back to existence.
We're flanking. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Yeah, how about a 22?
That's a crit.
Oh,
Welcome back.
Okay.
He comes back. My mom.
26.
26 damage.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may dispatch your final foe.
Yeah, so as a reminder, like when Mert goes into combat, he switches from this kind of small, pretty meek halfling to like this very erratic, strange form with weird voices and sounds, so that he was not backing down from where he went, right? So he's just constantly like, where is he? Where is he? The whole time he disappeared, right? As opposed to just like taking a breather to actually think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when he appears, it just wheels around wildly, locks onto him, and hits him immediately.
And he is no more. And that'll drop us out of encounter mode because there's no additional threats. Just the gardens, this barn that doesn't seem to have any more activity coming out of it, and the farm. And we are still fairly early in the night, to be honest. Maybe a few hours after you broke camp for the evening. What do you do?
I think Lysander will just kind of stay close to Mert until he looks like he's patched up. Once he looks like he has healed, my spell lasts for 10 minutes.
Sure, that's a long time.
But once he looks like he has patched up and healed, I will dismiss the spell and turn it off.
Okay, so yeah, we can just go ahead and...
Just let me know how many I need to...
Approximately 18 seconds.
Approximately 18 seconds. Gotcha.
Okay, so you're down 6.
Yes.
You got it.
I think, yeah, Mert would let you know. Thank you. I feel better now. And also, is this the same thing you were doing earlier with your hand and your arm? What was that? And why are you willing to sacrifice your own body to heal us?
Well, I don't possess the skills to repair a farm or maintain a, manner of my own. And quite frankly, I don't know that I would be able to dispatch the things that are trying to hurt us as quickly as you do. I have an innate gift to keep people here, and it's my job to do that.
Well, it's greatly appreciated. And if not, slightly disturbing, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, no offense.
It is what it is. I will cast nudge the scales on myself to heal myself 4.
Okay.
And so all of the meat and tendril and stuff from he just kind of like lays his hands on his chest, and they just start shaking, and you just see all that kind of just dissolve away on the bottom of his arm.
That's horrifying. But it's what you have right now for your tools.
Correct.
In your toolkit.
Yep.
And at that time, Sif comes ambling out after the sound of the din of combat has kind of faded away, and he looks at the carnage that you've... Oh no! Have to get corpse menders come fix. And he just starts dragging pieces back into the barn.
Oh, man.
Lot of work. Just dragging. He just picks up one leg from Mert's,
Brown pants.
throws it in the... Yeah. And yeah, he just sets about like putting stuff back in the barn to await any corpse menders that may come and slap these things back together and get them back into some kind of working order.
I may have to get creative with some of the parts.
We might, yeah. There are a few that, there may be some loss. So as he's doing that, what do you guys do? Anything in particular? Do you have any?
I'm interested to follow him into that barn and just see what was going on in there, how they got closed in. I don't know.
Yeah, Alara wants to see inside the barn as well.
Okay. It's essentially another empty barn, like what you slept in or meditated in or went into torpor in for the day. So the same thing, there's that kind of smell that's kind of pervasive throughout the building of just rot. And he's stacking zombie parts like cordwood against the wall, just like building up stacks, trying to maybe organize them by like, and thinking like this piece goes to this piece or whatever. Some of it's easier than others, but there were some pretty bad, pretty badly damaged zombies, which, these are workers. They don't, well, I guess they do come cheap in Geb, but, we have the material here. We might as well use it until we can't.
Right.
So he's trying to salvage what he can. But other than that, there's nothing really in here. There are a couple hooks on the wall where you would see those same kind of harnesses that you've seen throughout the farm, but that's really it.
So while they're searching in the barn, I will use my heal again, putting myself at Cursebound 2.
Oh no. Okay.
That's the wrong. There. So he gets kind of super frail and he just looks like a little kind of wrinkly up old man kind of in his stature, and the smoke and stuff just starts kind of billowing out from underneath that mask.
Oh my gosh. How long can you keep that up for? Persephone may even ask, like, what are you doing to yourself? How long can you maintain that?
I will maintain this as long as I need.
That's awful. I think maybe we need to get the barn back to working condition. That's part of our job here. Maybe I'll start helping Sif finish stacking the bodies, and maybe we can get to work.
Sounds great.
We have plenty of time left before sunrise. We might as well use it. So she'll start dragging in the bodies. It only takes a few minutes with the two of them working together.
So do we think we've cleared the farm of any
This seems to be every major point of interest on the property that we noticed, at least.
So where did the rest go? Because if they had stacking competitions in these barns, the numbers aren't adding.
Well, there's a bunch of
Goop.
squished, goopy flesh in the paddock area.
Sif does, after he finishes stacking the last body part, sort of scratches that horsehair brush he has for hair. Numbers don't number. She's right. Not enough here. Then he just ambles out and starts looking around. He heads north past the other zombie barn that's in the northeast corner of the complex, and starts looking out the gate. And you can see his shoulders kind of slump. And he comes back and he's like, "Some are out there in the fields outside. Gotta wrangle. Be back." He goes out and he starts, like, if you watch him at all, he starts trying to corral the zombies that are just aimlessly wandering about in like a cornfield outside.
Sure. I think I want to walk the farm with Mert and just quickly take inventory of what's broken or what's run down. And I know he carries a log or a journal that he writes everything down in. So it's just, I just want to quickly take a lap around and be like, that fence piece and this door and this, just so we have it on record.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea, Lysander. I'll definitely make a detailed to-do list of all the things that we need to take care of before we return back.
For sure.
Okay, so we can talk about that. Is there anything that Ophelia or Alara would like to do while these two gentlemen are taking stock of the damages?
Did the zombies in the field look out of control?
So if you watch them for a little bit while he's hurting them, they just look like they're kind of mindlessly ambling about. Like they're not really attacking him. They're not really aggressive. They're just kind of shambling about, like lost people.
What would being around zombies, them saying me, would that make them attack by chance?
Tell you what, you can give me a recall knowledge using religion. If you are trained in religion.
I am.
Even if you're not trained, but yeah, you can go and give me a roll to see if zombies just seeing a living person would attack.
That's a 13.
Okay. You're not entirely sure, but you know in Gab, you've come from Mekatar, the capital city of this nation that is almost entirely undead, with a very scant minority of the quick, the living. And so you know that even the mindless undead are used to seeing quick, and they're not necessarily immediately going to get riled up to attack. So you're not entirely sure, but you're confident that if they seem docile right now, if with Sif out there working with them, maybe if you were to go out there and assist, you wouldn't really draw any ire unless you do something aggressive.
Well, I'm not going to do anything aggressive.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to go try to help Sif wrangle some zombies.
Great. Okay. So while you're doing that, we'll go ahead and get right to that task.
Sorry.
And this is actually one of the things you can do to bring the farm back to working order. So let's see here. So to go out there with Sif, I'm going to give you a little bit of bonus since he's out there. So you have a number of options. You can do another religious role to like know how to interact with them in order to kind of keep them docile and move them into like a group, so that he can gather them up and move them back into the farm. Mm-hmm. You could do some perceptions to kind of gauge where they're at and kind of help him kind of herd them together. I'll also take an athletics if you want to try and wrestle them.
I'm just going to give you a religion.
Sounds great. And I'm going to give you a little bonus because Sif is out there working with them already.
Okay, so I have a 15.
Okay. So Sif starts seeing you work to help corral these zombies. And he's like, good work. You trainee too?
My mom was a necromancer.
Oh.
Or is.
Go left. And yeah, you guys start like moving the throng of zombies back towards that northern gate that you originally came through. Good work.
Go left.
Yeah.
We're hurting autistic kittens.
Whoa. Yeah.
Zombies.
Herding kittens is a nightmare. If only it was as easy as rolling a knowledge check. Anyway,
Right?
you guys start taking account of the damage. Was Alara?
Yeah,
thinking of
Alara's.
anything?
She had kind of already started to wander towards the garden area, so
Okay.
she's going to continue that direction just to kind of see. Because we kind of passed by that quickly, since there were no threats.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to go back to that area and just kind of see what's there, what state it's in.
Sure, yeah. So there are 6 kind of plots that are set up in 20 by 20 kind of, I'm not even sure what you call them, but they're kind of those raised garden areas that have like a wooden border around them. And each of them, most of them are growing vegetables that are apt to grow in a dry condition. Like we mentioned, lentils and some other things like that, some melons. But there are a few plots that are growing vegetables that are designed for wetter environments, which means somebody had the skill and the wherewithal to get these to grow here. So if you want to kind of clean out the gardens and continue some of that cultivation, you can do so. And you can do that with cooking lore, farming lore, plant lore, or a nature check.
Yeah, well, of course, anything that she's. I'm trying to imagine how this task would work for her, because if it would be a. So maybe that's kind of what she's contemplating too, is she's trying to find something that she can concentrate on and do that doesn't, if she's going to have to touch like 50 plants, that's going to be, or like 50 different things, like weeds or things, that's going to be a mess.
Could take you a long time. What
yeah.
if you had tools that you incorporated?
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't know if there's anything around.
So there's
I
nothing
know
here
there's-
around.
But I know we had that shed,
You do have the shed,
and I could totally ruin Mert's inventory.
and you also remember that when you were taking a kind of an account of the spoiled vegetables in the room with the table and the strange motto on the wall,
There were tools there.
there were tools in there as well. And I think Sif even pointed out that those were Bradex tools.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Alara could go back to that cave opening, however we described that, and is going to retrieve. Maybe she'll get if there was like a hoe, so that she can kind of like use that to kind of get some of the weeds and things out. And okay, so
Great.
she'll go find that. She'll spend her 10 minutes incorporating this hoe, and then get to work on that.
Right.
Ho Inc.
How many times can you say that and not keep a straight face? Incorporating the hose.
Incorporating hose.
Okay. Sorry, it's a family show, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
That's it.
It's really not. Okay, so you gentlemen that are out there taking an accounting of the farm's damage. So that one of the first buildings that you came to was the room with all the bundles of the leather barding or tack that you weren't quite sure what the purpose was. You now have a pretty good idea that is actually the harnesses that they use to help maneuver and maintain the zombies. So you can spend some time, those are damaged, you can spend some time working on those, fixing those. The northern zombie barn has the door that's been blown completely off. That could be repaired. As you're going around, obviously the paddock where Mosguda was rampaging but then subsequently slain, that fencing could be repaired. Sif can probably certainly help with that. And you know, maybe the silo could be patched up again with some repair. So some crafting checks there, but yeah, really you do have that one building with all of the tools, so that will certainly help, but that's kind of the extent of the damages here.
Sure. I think we should probably start with the barding for the zombies. If they're going to be bringing them in from the field out there, we probably should have a way to harness whatever they're going to have the ability to do. I don't know what that entails. Maybe we can just start by untangling them and see which ones are damaged and which ones aren't, and just kind of, separating them out and getting them figured out.
Sure. So yeah, you can spend 10, 20 minutes just kind of disentangling, like getting out your old holiday lights when it's ready to decorate 100%. For the holidays. It's kind of a mangled mass of that. But I'm sure with your guidance and your eye for numbers that you can assist with, organizing and separating these out into piles of potentially working harnesses and potentially harnesses that need repairs.
And considering we have a smaller number of zombies that we're going to be working with, we can hopefully have the ones that are in working order, and then we can, slowly work on the ones that need repair.
Completely agree. And especially in consideration of how much trouble they had here controlling these zombies, I think that some harnesses may be extremely useful, especially for Sif, who's the only charge hand left right now.
And he's in training.
Yes.
Speaking of, Sif is actually leading a throng of zombie shamblers with Ophelia in tow, and they're both front and back like two seasoned shepherds bringing this small flock of zombie shamblers in. There's maybe 10, 12 that they've managed to gather up from out in the fields, and they're moving them to that southern barn where they can have an intact door and stack them in there with the pieces and get them ready for some, to calm down and get back to work when the farm is back together. Okay.
Yeah.
So back in the building, you're still working on that hoe. You finally that gardening implement.
That hose incorporated.
Just working that hoe.
Oh. My.
But
Maybe it's a rake. But whatever implement you choose, you have managed to incorporate that and now move your way back out to the gardens, and you find that, if you are attacking weeds with it, it's not like the normal process, but if you're striking away at the weeds, or maybe clearing out or trying to re-aerate the dirt, whatever farming things you can think of to do with this hoe. You can give me a nature, because I'm not sure you have cooking, farming, or plant lore.
No, I don't. I don't think I have anything that remotely touches any of these skills.
Okay. So
That's what makes it fun.
yeah, so since lore is specialized, you can't really do it untrained, but I'll take an untrained nature,
Okay.
and I'm going to give you a little bonus because you are using Bradex tools.
Oh, okay.
It's a special hoe.
Yeah. He kept the best hoe.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 7.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna. This is the point where I just hack up the good plants.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you'll kind of be back there. You're not really used to attacking things with a gardening implement, so we'll kind of let you. Maybe you feel like you're doing an okay job, but
She's very proud of herself.
you do notice that some of the plants are going down with the weeds. Sadly,
But the weeds are going down.
eventually, yes, that is true.
That's what matters.
And especially as an incorporeal character, I mean,
You're just
transcending that
Yeah.
transcending between being incorporeal and like these aren't ghostly weeds, right?
No, they're not,
It
yeah.
takes a tremendous amount of concentration.
Right. So it's understandable that it would be very challenging for you, but you're doing the best you can.
I'm helping.
Yeah.
Striking
I love
over
it.
and over. Yep.
Yeah. She says it's like corn stalks are like just falling down.
Sif's like,
Making sure
no.
I'm dead.
What are you doing?
He might once we get these zombies over there.
Yeah. So
This Sif home. Oh, no.
yeah, get fired. So you managed to help Sif get those zombies back into the southernmost barn and get the door secured. It takes a little bit of work, but you've with the rolls you have, you managed to get them secure. And you do notice that Mert and Lysander were working on untangling some tack. You see Lara hacking away at some of the garden plots down there in the south. Now that you've got those zombies secure, Sif kind of scratches his head again and goes, maybe secure north barn. And he goes and gets a hammer and some nails out of that shed near Mosguta's stall and sets to work on that door.
That's where we camped out, right?
Yes.
It's mostly secure except for the door.
Yep, hinge has got to be fixed. Want to help?
Sure, we can help.
I can try.
Persephone can try, too.
I can swing the hammer. Mind your fingers.
Oh.
No. Only got 9.
Oh, you too missing the pinky, I see.
No.
Get him! Sif's orchestrated this whole thing
Yeah.
all along.
Mastermind
Yeah.
Sif.
It's always the guy hiding in plain sight, right? Okay. So would you guys like to do like some aid actions to help Sif? We'll let him do the main role, I guess, with the
100%.
crafting, since it is his wheelhouse. And then who would like to? Well, basically, I think one person could aid because it's just a door, right? So if you try to get 3-4 people working on a door, probably not going to work.
I've been working with him, and I think I might have a better crafting chance than.
Okay, great. So we'll go ahead and use your crafting then to aid. So go ahead and roll, and to aid is a DC 15 check in crafting to give him a bonus.
No,
Okay,
that's an 8.
so you're holding the door up while he's trying to like hammer the hinges back in, and he's like, no, hold here. And he's, but after about 10-20 minutes of work, you guys manage to get, you're holding it based on his instructions. He gets a good enough roll on his own, thank you, to get that done. So you guys have managed to repair the door. That pretty much leaves the fence. So it's a very big paddock. So I think as just one big team, we can knock this out. And after about an hour to 2 hours of work, the fence has been restored to a reasonable functioning fence. Would it hold Mosguta? Probably not, but that's not really a threat anymore. If we paddock other animals in there and keep them docile, it's probably working. Yes?
Technically, it's holding him now.
That's a good point. Yeah.
He's
Not going anywhere.
yeah, ever again.
So as the last crossbeam of the fence gets put into place, and Sif is holding it as you know, maybe Persephone is driving the last, nail into place to hold that crossbeam, he lets go and brushes his hands off on his overalls. Pretty good. Sif, back to work. Thank you.
I mean, I believe you just got a rather large promotion, Sif.
Pays the same. Nothing.
But I suppose was there like a farmhouse or anything like at all?
No, there's no like bunkhouse like you would think of, like farm workers and
Yeah.
things. So you think it's possible that he bunks in the zombie barn with the rest of the zombies?
What a guy. Well, I guess you get your pick of the litter of where you want to sleep, though, Sif. So take that as your bonus.
Yeah, but where did the halfling
Yeah,
sleep?
see, where was Bradick? Wow.
He's probably bunking with all of them.
Yeah, or it's possible that he didn't sleep on the farm. He just came to work and then went back to wherever he lived.
True.
But yeah, you haven't really identified a structure that's like a bunkhouse
Yeah.
or like a foreman's house or anything like that.
Unless he
So
slept in the cave.
that's possible.
That is true. A lot of Brady's belongings were in that ruined building, so there's a chance potentially.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say if he's dead and we can figure out where he lived,
Bam.
let's go take a look around that.
I think his cousin might have something to say about that.
Strong possibility.
I mean, it's just how we found it.
Looted?
Vacant.
Vacant, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, you are not given any information on Bradick's
Estate.
home dwellings, if they are off property or not.
Very well.
A girl can dream.
They would have to be.
Well, thank you very much, Sif, for all your hard work getting the farm back in working order. I presume you can handle just the last few corpses that we've left by the gates, getting those back into the barn.
I guess.
Now, do we need to send the corpse mender, or are you able to take care of that?
Probably you should tell Haldol send them. She's not gonna be happy, but we did our best. He scratches that horsehair patch. Pretty good for trainees. And
We
he shambles
agree.
Shambles off to the barn to lock himself in with the cord that's been stacked up in there. And you guys have still a few hours of night left.
But not enough to make it back to Greater.
Probably not. Yeah, you do remember it's about a 16-mile trek from the farm back to Great Urge. And so at everyone's rate of travel, it's probably a good 7-8 hours of journey on the rope and road with not a lot of places to hole up.
So I assume we would just spend the evening here and then set out, or spend the day here and set out early evening.
Sure. That
Soon
that
as,
would be a reasonable.
As soon as Persephone is in the clear to travel.
Yes, I definitely cannot be in any kind of sunshine, so I would definitely need a place out of the light.
Before we turn in for the day, I'd like to. I'll be right back. And Mert's going to head towards the silos and spend some time trying to incorporate some of that grain with that brain grit, to take that with him to show Haldoli kind of what was in the grain, what was contaminating it.
Okay. So you can spend 10 minutes and obtain some sort of a sample in some kind of pouch or something
I
that you have.
cookware, so I can fit it in that.
Perfect.
Fine. Yep.
Yep, that sounds like a great idea. So you have a sample of brain grit, you have your samples of tremor paste, and you have that scrap of cloth with the embroidered 3-fingered hand. Is there anything else you need to secure or come across in the farm before you rest for the day?
I don't think so.
Where would you like to rest?
That north barn.
Probably
has a
the north
brand new
barn,
door
yeah.
on it.
North Barn does have a brand new door on it.
Yeah.
And it's not currently inhabited by zombies. Everybody corralled to the southern barn because you were still going to work the door up until that point. So that would be a safe place. A little bit stinky. You might be also secure in the tool shed, or if you wanted to sleep in old Irga's, not near the well.
That
It's
place-
just a hole with water.
That place freaked me out. He was a cannibal.
True.
But and also this may be close enough to the south barn where if there is any further disturbances, we could potentially do something to help. If they get out of control again, Sif will have his hands more than full if a dozen or so shamblers get out of his control.
That is a very good point. So yeah, if you stay on that northern barn, you would be maybe 50, 60 yards from the southernmost barn. So you'd probably be able to pick up on, if something got out of control. Does that mean you'll be setting some kind of watch?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. And that's easily doable because most of you, the majority of you, need to only go into some kind of meditation or rest for 4 hours.
I agree to watch, but I'm the only one that needs to sleep for 8 hours other than you, right?
Yes. Ophelia does need the same amount of rest as you do because despite her appearance, she is fully quick.
Yeah,
I can certainly take watch while the sun is up as well. That won't bother me.
it doesn't bother me either.
Kind of pointing that towards Persephone. Perhaps you should take first watch and then lay down once the sun comes up.
I like that idea. So yeah, she's kind of gets herself near the door so she can hear if anything does happen. Maybe occasionally, if it's still dark out, she might open it and check outside. But she's spending a lot of time kind of doing some drills with that new scythe of hers. She's like, this thing feels really good. I might have you go check this out because I'm.
Well, do you want me to look at it?
If you'd like to, I don't know. It feels good in my hands.
Okay. Can I see it?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna just kind of set it down in front of me, and I'd like to. I'm not the best when it comes to arcane emblems or that kind of stuff, but I do have a little dabbling in occultism, so I would like to try to kind of examine it that way.
Sure.
And see if there's what the mystical arts are doing with this little scythe of hers.
I'll take an occultism roll.
Okay. That would be a 17.
A 17. Okay. That is enough to determine that this rune we said was carved on it is in fact a potency rune.
Oh.
Right? Let me make sure I get that right. Potency is where you get +1 to the hit.
Yep.
Correct.
And striking is the extra damage dice.
Correct.
This is just a +1 scythe. Okay?
That's real good.
Not just a +1 scythe,
Yeah.
but a scythe that gets +1 on its attack rolls. Which I was baking into every time
that's-
she gave me a number. I was taking that into consideration
good.
for any crits or anything.
So, Persephone, I believe you have something that has great power here. It seems to amplify your martial ability, and it seems to, it's almost like it was kind of made for you to say. If it fits well, it swings well, it'll kill well.
I do like the feel of it, and it has served me well so far. If you don't mind, I think I will keep this.
I definitely do not want it.
Fair enough. And she goes back to gleefully swinging it around and practicing like different attacks and different kind of maybe parries and trying to figure out a way to incorporate the style she knows from her bastard sword into this different weapon, because the blade is organized differently, the swing is definitely different, but she's enjoying herself practicing with this weapon as you guys settle down for the night.
Very well. Love it.
Good deal. So the rest of the day, I almost said night, but really the rest of the night and into the next day pretty much passes uneventfully. During the day, you might hear outside the sounds of Sif working, corralling more zombies to the farm, some more hammers banging, an occasional damn it, and then that's it. Is there anything else going on while you
I just know that when I get up in the morning, I'm going to essentially read the fortune of the day, kind of like feel out what the evening is going to bring.
Okay.
And so I have wherever it is I'm set up, I'm going to pull my bones out and I'm going to cast them out. I'm essentially seeking if we're going to be safe on our travel back to Grey Dirge.
Okay.
And see, what that gets us.
When you get up from your rest, how is your body looking now?
So, my curse decreases every 15 minutes, like a certain alchemist that we know, as he gains his reagents every 15 minutes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
But it works on that same mechanic. So every 15 minutes, I can just, the curse goes down by one, and then if I rest for the entire evening, it'll hard reset back to zero.
So when you get up to face the next night, you look 100%.
I look 100%.
That's amazing. Okay.
Kind of disturbing and eerie. Like it looked like your arm was ready to completely fall off, and it looked right as rain.
Yes. Her touch is wicked to some and great to others.
Well, needless to say, we're a bunch of weirdos.
So,
Seems like, yeah, weirdos.
Speak for yourself, says Mert, as he's like quietly, basically rewriting the entire account in because he had to shorthand some stuff when we had a lot going on. So he's going back through and making a much more elaborate account.
You're a ghost.
Fantastic.
That's kind of weird.
Yes, in Geb, there are plenty of ghosts around.
I'm aware.
Nothing too weird about that.
So my fortune telling roll is a 22.
Okay. You think that this evening's travel back to Grey Dirge should be relatively safe.
Okay. I will scoop up the bones. I will put a small smirk on my face, and I will say, Urgathoa is pleased with us, and she will see to it that we get back to Grey Dirge unscathed.
It's good to hear. It seems that she's definitely given you her favor so far.
Indeed she has.
Didn't think I would come to trust her, but you're certainly proof of it.
So as you start packing up your gear and items for the evening, is there anything else anybody's doing? Any other strange conversations in the corner with unseen people or things?
I think also just out of like one eye, I'm watching Ilara and waiting for her to talk to whatever thing she was talking to through the door, because I still have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of like doing his stuff, and then he's like, and then he's going back to it.
Yeah.
Well, I got my little buddy.
And Alora's just kind of, I mean, she got up for her watch cycle during the day, obviously, but then she's just kind of talking to herself and sitting on the ground and rocking back and forth. I'm just completely oblivious that you're doing that.
Great. I just think she's crazy. All right.
At least you can see my little guy.
Seems good.
Yep. So you spend some time communing. Does your little guy have a name?
Yeah. Nobody's asked his name.
Not my place. All right. So you pack up your gear, slowly crack open the door. It's definitely night has fallen, and Sif is, in his last little round of repairs on the fences, and he gives a little wave. Maybe we'll see you again.
God, I hope not.
I really wanted him to be at the door and just be like, boo, and scare the shit out of whoever the first one that came out.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Right. I'm still in training. Okay. So so we'll go ahead, and I think this is a great place to maybe
Perfect.
take our break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll be on the road back to Grey Dirge and a visit to Haldoli's Manor.
Love it.
All right. I'll go ahead and stay and hang out for a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about, if anybody out there caught an actually that we need to talk about, or I don't think so. Maybe. But like I said, I haven't really kept an eye on chat because I've got a lot going on. I like to kind of stay in it, but I'll pull everything up. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about while everyone else takes a little break, and then as they filter back, I'll take mine, and we'll get right back to the story. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to hang out with you guys.
I unfortunately do have one, actually.
Oh, no.
My knowledge arcana while raging. That is a concentration action.
That's right.
So unless I have moment of clarity, which I could eventually get, none of that.
Well, that one's on you, Jacob.
Hey, I roll poorly anyway, so yeah, no, that's not on you. That's 100%
true.
on me.
Yeah, I got to remember little nuances like that about the class abilities and features. That is different.
That's not all on you though. We gotta keep track of our own stuff here too.
Yes, I do need everyone's help to make sure we stay on top of these things.
Yes, know your character.
Yeah, they're new to all of us. We're still getting used to what they can do, what their bells and whistles are. And we're still discovering that kind of organically on air, right? We haven't just come right out and said, well, maybe I've slipped a little bit on a couple things, but otherwise, we don't know what really is going on with a lot of these characters and what their full abilities are. And so it's nice to see them kind of emerge organically at the table as you guys learn about each other in game and watch each other's abilities in game. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, we're gonna learn to interact with each other and work towards each other's strengths. I think the more we learn, and also as we progress as characters, we're gonna learn new abilities. They're gonna kind of start that over again, right? Like,
Yeah.
that spirit link thing that that he did, it really so different, and I've never seen that spell, and to see him just tick away his own life force to keep me up is
Right.
definitely something different.
At the expense of his physical form. And
Oracles are weird, to say the least.
yeah.
Having played one and done the war oracle,
Mm-hmm.
it's a totally different.
Right.
I didn't think that oracle would go with a barbarian, but when we did when we did psychic promise, and I got oracle, whew,
Yeah.
They're
That was
incredibly
interesting.
versatile class for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that his flavor of Oracle is perfect for this campaign. I mean,
Yes.
the kind of creepy, and also his affinity to the void is ideal for a Geb-based campaign.
Right. And he's already called out his link to Urgathoa many times.
yes,
And for those that don't know, Urgathoa is a goddess in Galarian that is depicted typically as the torso and upper half of a beautiful woman, and the lower half of a decomposing corpse, basically almost down to the bone, and she's holding a huge scythe as her favorite weapon.
Correct.
Urgathoa is the goddess of undeath and of gluttony, right? So, and we kind of experienced that at the table when Lysander was picking at everyone's plate, and definitely observing that that sort of
Indulgence.
Just kind of almost in deference or worship, and as a call out to that aspect of that.
So there's another big crux to her belief, and she doesn't believe in harming undead.
Right.
And so as we play through the game, it will become critically clear that unless Lysander feels like it is crucial to our survival, he himself is not going to be casting harmful spells at regular types of undead.
That's an interesting thing to
And
point
so,
out. Yeah.
I'll put, the miracle of guidance on other people. They can hack them down.
Sure.
You know, I'll put other spells that I have on other people, and I'll make it so that they can, you know. But when it comes down to it, my hands are clean. I did not destroy the undead.
And what specifically about the Pallid Princess? Why is she so aligned with preserving undead, or maybe even creating new undead?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because the conversation between Oracle and Cleric, right? Like, why not just be a cleric that
Sure.
worships Urgathoa? Well, Patrick and I had a conversation, and it's like there's a really good breakdown of what an actual Oracle is versus like what a cleric is. So a cleric has a very distinct, rigorous path of beliefs that they will uphold based on their deity that whatever they are worshiping or attuning to, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what their anathemas and all that kind of stuff is, stuff that they will and will not do, right? Yep. An oracle has essentially like a pipeline or a part of or something from the divine, but I'm not beholden to any anathemas of any kind. I could walk out there worshiping Urgathoa and take a greatsword and hack an undead in half.
But you're not going to lose your...
But I will not lose my connection. Right. So it's more innate to me. Like, the gift was given to me, and it's me, versus the idea of a cleric where you kind of come every morning and bargain or plead with this deity to have a power or a scrap from the table.
Right. It's almost like the difference between like an organized religion and more of like a spiritualist type person.
Yep.
Interesting. The Oracle, just to under the hood, is that divine caster still?
It
or
is.
Is it occult?
It is divine.
Interesting.
Yep.
So you have, well, we won't get into the nitty gritty. We'll have that happen organically at the table. But your true.
In case those that haven't noticed, we like. we love talking builds and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But your magical tradition is divine.
Correct.
So, okay. Interesting. That's good to know. Okay. Well, it looks like.
But you can't use that against me in the court of law. So sorry.
Oh. Okay. Well, it looks like everyone's back, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip away for just a few minutes, and everyone is here to continue the discussion or to take your questions out there, so please stay tuned, and we'll be back right in a few minutes to get right back to the story and our return to Great Urge.
For sure. So I have a really cool, I'm sitting on my first rank spells, right? And obviously, we got to see Spirit Link,
super coolness,
which is super cool. And we obviously have seen Harm. I healed Mert last time.
Yep.
With Harm. So there's some really cool things coming for what he's got, and you know, the cool part about the type of Oracle, you know, you're talking about it when I was coming back down, but the cool part about the Oracle is I'm effective with undead. Like, you know, I have things that will work with undead, but Lord help you if we fight things that are not undead. Like, if we fight living creatures,
sure,
like I'm gonna mess them up. Like, I have a ton of things that it literally says target one living creature.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm just sitting here like I just need you to breathe and have a heartbeat, and then your ass belongs to me.
Pity the quick.
That's right.
Interestingly, Mert can do a pretty good job of attacking undead and dead alike. I don't think we really know why there's this erratic, like
it's
these
interesting.
Sounds of other spirits taking place when he enters. You know, I kind of alluded to it during the break, but like a rage. Right? It's basically what he's.
Because you were talking about your not being able to do arcane, right? Because it's the concentration stuff.
Exactly. So,
I also was very interested when we started. Like, were you going to be able to, you know, swing your sword and hit something?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? How does that work? Because if you can't grab that rake, or you can't sit in that chair or pick up that plate, like, why does this weapon interact with the physical.
Right. It's the same reason that Alara could
Yeah.
strike with
Yeah.
an implement, but couldn't necessarily like get down and carefully do it by hand because
Right.
that's not how we get to interact.
Yeah, and it's so
in the
cool because I was sitting
material
over here,
world,
I was like, oh shit, here we go. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, damn, I did nothing, you know.
Yeah, I think that Paizo did a really good job of making sure that the flavor is there. Of
Right.
These ghostly PCs, but they're not straight up ghosts, which is great for multiple perspectives. Meaning we can actually hit corporeal things, and at the same time, we don't get to like fly around through walls all the time because that could totally cheese out tons of encounters, right?
Right.
But there are a lot of challenges that we're going to have to learn to overcome, like taking 10 minutes to incorporate physical objects to be able to carry them. You know, like that chain that was given to us by Sif. I mean, I just had to watch it plop on the ground and then concentrate with it for 10 straight minutes uninterrupted to get that to, you know, slowly change into incorporeal form where I could take it and put it into my backpack.
And it's kind of interesting because like stuff like that, when you think like D&D or Pathfinder or stuff like that, it really sets a pace to the game, right? Because it's like I have to take 15 minutes to not fall apart.
Yep.
You have to take 10 minutes to pick up a fork. Like, you know, it's just like we're not running through a dungeon and just kicking every door in and smashing everything down because everything has a pace.
Yep.
And so it's like this game has a kind of its own internal like heartbeat.
Yeah, and I must say, Dewey Remaster has done an excellent job of kind of squashing the like classic 5-minute workday, right? There's so many things that have reduced cooldowns that you automatically get when you roll initiative, et cetera, that it's not like, you know, you get through 2 combats and then you need to like sleep for 8 hours straight. Because like how much does that break the immersion for you when you're on an adventure in a dangerous cave and you're like, oh, we'll just pull over and go to sleep.
Yeah. We'll
So
stay here in this room we just cleared out in this
a lot of
horrendous cave.
Exactly. A lot of these downtime tasks that are in minutes and hours make it much easier to recuperate and get your bearings before pressing into that next challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Without kind of pulling you totally out of that.
Yeah, but a spell slot spent is a spell slot spent.
Yes, that is not something you get to get back in 10 minutes.
But you have
Unless
cantrips.
it's a focus spell.
Focus
then it's
spells,
15 minutes.
cantrips, yeah. They've done a great job of taking those kind of that baggage that they inherited from previous editions and renditions of these role-playing games that go back to the late 70s that kind of have the same feel, right? And they've kind of made it to where, you know, the verisimilitude of doing that, they've fixed it, I think, to a degree that you can continue on and still have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Still have to worry about resource management, but not to the degree that it used to be.
It's not as crippling if you know, if your healer goes bonkers and has to keep someone alive in the first encounter that you're in, it's not going to shut down your whole game when, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can certainly use other skills
For sure.
to mend your wounds and other things.
Yeah, that's helpful.
But nobody's even been hurt, right? Well, I guess that's not entirely true.
Have you met Mert?
Yeah.
Mert got hurt.
Quite a bit.
Mert gets hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
Muscuda tore me up pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know, those zombies.
The zombies put a hurting too.
I
Like
don't know how many hit points you had, but if I took the damage that you did, I would have been sucking ground.
I mean, yeah, that one hit almost took Alara to half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I took 8 damage twice, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would be down.
Okay. I forget you guys are still level 1,
Hopefully we're about to change that.
but you are.
I was gonna say.
You feel really good now.
I mean, I feel great. My arms are all back together and everything.
That's great.
I feel better, but yeah.
Are you still hurt?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! I will heal you. Good Lord! I would have
probably
done
could have
that.
done that before
I would
we
have done
went to
that
sleep.
before we went to bed.
Sure, because you
Yeah.
still had spell slots
Yeah,
left.
for sure. Yeah. You'll be.
Sorry, I didn't take any damage. Don't worry about
I
me.
totally spaced that you got punched in the face. That is my bad. That is my
Angie's
bad.
gonna get some back from resting too. so.
Yes. Yeah. So with that heal and the night's rest, or
Yep.
I'm sorry, the day's rest. Boy, all these terms of like being a nocturnal adventuring party.
And
It's
that's
going
why
to
I
be
said sleep
Yeah.
for the day is like that's gonna be my go-to term because
Yeah.
it makes sense to me.
right. Okay. So we pack up our gear. Everyone is pretty much right where they're ready to face a new night,
Yep.
and you travel back to Grey Dirge. It is a pretty long trek. Like I said, it's almost 8 hours to get back to the gates of Grey Dirge. And you're arriving with, again, some of that pre-dawn light starting to hit the horizon as you make it up here. Well, that may not be entirely true because the time of year this is and the region that we're in, the nighttime lasts about 11-ish hours. So, yeah, you should still be in the dark when you arrive.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
As we approach Grey Dirge, I will just quietly, not like super quietly, but just quietly under my breath, be like, "Thank you."
You're welcome.
Not to you.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're going to specifically play Urgathoa and keeping us safe on our travels.
No. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So I get what you're doing. Yeah. I was just giving you a little.
But it is loud enough for if anyone is walking, next to him, it is loud enough for you to pick it up. Just.
I think I would be talking to Lysander about where he came from in the city, the capital, because we've both mentioned that we were from the capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my parents were pretty well off, but they fell on some hard times, and we were forced to sell our estate, and we moved just outside of the capital. But all of that is fixed now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take some time as we're traveling the road to talk to Alara and ask, kind of, how did you become a ghost? What are you incorporeal for?
What are you in for?
Well, it's a very socially awkward question to ask right off the bat, but okay.
Just
Hey, we've been
curious, like how did
traveling for
maybe
10
just even how did you die?
Oh, it was an accident. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't doing anything on purpose. It's just sometimes accidents happen, especially around water. And I told them so many times, you can't go in there, but they never listened to me, and it was so frustrating. And and of course everyone blames me. And I'm the one that, whatever this is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know how long it's been.
I wish I could remember.
Yeah.
All I remember is waking up like this, in just a massive pile of corpses.
Oh wow. So you don't even know.
What was left of my body, it must have been a very long time.
I forget so much of the time. But then everything I do is a reminder.
I appreciate that you try to maintain the regularity. It's the same reason I still take a thorough accounting of our adventures. It's the same reason I work so hard to get to enjoy what little remnant of the food that I can incorporate, just to feel a little bit normal still.
Yeah. I don't know. I still keep thinking I can somehow get back to all the people that I left. What are they doing? What are they thinking? Do they think about me?
I too feel this pull occasionally that there's something I need to take care of, but I can't put words to it yet. That's most of the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
I've been pulled in this direction and I can't explain it.
Yeah, and if I don't know how to get there, I have nowhere else to be. So this works. I feel like she's given me more hope and an answer than anyone else I've ever met.
Well, I guess we'll see what comes next and see what's revealed to us as time goes on.
And with that, I just want to say, I was not expecting any of that on the road to Grey Dirge. So for that, I want to give everyone a skull bone for role-playing out a little bit of your backstories. That was very cool. And almost like I got hit in the feels a couple of times there. So I think that warrants some skull bones across the table. Thank you for that.
I really don't want to follow up with anything after the two ghosts have had their conversation.
Yeah, that was, I like I said, it hit me in the feels a couple of times. I don't know if you felt that, but maybe some more of that tragedy will come out as we explore these characters some more. But in the meantime, your journey continues relatively uneventfully. It might be some more additional small talk or maybe some conversations about Mekatar. But you arrive at the gates of Haldoli's Manor, and they are currently closed, and it is dark. It is nighttime. There is a guard standing just inside the gate as you approach, and it's a mummy. And the mummy kind of turns to you with these pinpoint kind of green eyes staring out from behind the bandages. And what is your business here?
We seek an audience with Miss Haldoli. We were sent on a task. We have brought news of its completion.
State your names.
I am Lysander Darkthorn.
Ophelia Ebonheart.
I'm Nellis.
Alora Wraithsong?
Very well. Wait here. And it kind of stalks off stiffly into the manor proper as you wait outside the gates. After a few minutes, Murk comes down the stairs of the manor proper, down the path to the gate, and as he does so, he kind of like waves his fingers, and the two brutes grab the gates and start pulling them open for you. They squeal open. Ah, you have returned. I suppose everything is back to working order at Erga's farm.
It is in working order, yes.
Fantastic. I have notified Mistress Haldoli of your return. If you would accompany me inside, follow me.
Of course.
He guides you in to Haldoli's Manor and has you wait in a parlor where there are some very large, stuffy chairs, right? Kind of well-upholstered velvet chairs with nice mahogany wood fixture in the chair, finely crafted woodworking. And there is a table with a tea set laid out. Please, make yourselves comfortable. I will return. There are also kind of like some cushions around the floor that, certain folks may just hover on the cushions.
I'd say, yeah.
Can I incorporate the cushion? to sit on?
There's no need. You could just kind of float right above it as you just kind of lower yourself.
You really
It's
want
almost
to
as if-
incorporate your cushion?
I will grab the teapot, and I'll say, anyone want any?
Alara's just going to stare as he's holding it up, and she's going to just kind of be rocking slightly on her cushion, staring.
All right.
I'll make some tea.
Yeah, I'll reach into my pack and just pull out like a bundled up piece of old bread and some sausage. Just kind of close my eyes and chew it slowly, trying to enjoy it, trying to taste it, trying to remember.
Your friend Reacher, the extremely tall skeleton, comes in with a tray of various pastries and lays those out. And there's also a goblet, pre-poured goblet of what might be wine, but you know by now isn't, for Persephone to enjoy. And leaves. And then after a few more minutes, Mistress Haldoli, Berlin Haldoli, comes into the chamber.
Well, we're sipping on tea and eating pastries. Those of us who can. I do
Oh.
apologize.
I'm so glad you have returned. It took you far less time than I had imagined that it would, based on what my agents have told me about the destruction at the farm. Please, tell me what happened. And she sits down and pours herself her own cup of tea and glances over the pastries. Oh, and grabs one and starts nibbling at it as she listens.
The road there was not treacherous. It was only when we reached the gate that we encountered a few zombies that were no longer handled.
Indeed, yes. My agents did say they were out of control. Did you manage to corral the zombies and return them back to the barns?
The ones that were in the field, yes.
Oh. What of the ones at the gate?
They became increasingly hostile as we approached.
It's most unfortunate. I suppose that means I'll have to send a team of corpse menders down to salvage what we can.
That would be a good idea.
Yes, certainly. It seems that about a dozen zombies are still in functioning order. The rest have been bundled up by Sif for the menders to work on.
Oh, I see.
And he's the only charge hand.
I'm not aware of this Sif, but what of my cousin Bradick? Were you not able to contact him?
Unfortunately, I think your cousin has passed on.
Oh dear. This is terrible news. He was kin of mine, and well, he was loyal, which is a combination not normally found in Geb. I'll miss him dearly. Perhaps I'll give him a visit and see if I can't convince him to return. If you catch my meaning.
I hope that you can.
Restore his purpose?
How did he meet his end, if you don't mind me asking? I'd like to know, so it may help me in encouraging him to come back.
Unfortunately, it was old Moscuda.
Oh
He
dear.
impaled him against the bridal barn.
So Moscuta was out of control as well.
Uh-huh.
Well, how fares my prize bull?
Much like all the rest that were out of control, unfortunately.
Oh dear, I'm afraid you've made my life a little bit more difficult, but I have the staff that can remedy this. They won't be in as good a shape as they were from the get-go, but I'll work to restore them as best I can. It is unfortunate, but at least now the farm is in working order, yes?
It is in working order, but we did find other things.
Oh, such as?
So I'll pull out a grappling hook and lay that kind of nearby, and my cooking ware with some of that grain, and begin to release that from my form so she can check it out.
The silos were tampered with.
Well, how so?
What was it you said it was?
Brain grit.
Brain grit.
Brain grit. Well, that's just... I mean, I'm no alchemist, but I'm sure that's just something that would barely even harm, even a quick.
There was a messenger, had a messenger bag. He had this emblem on his cloak of a 3-fingered hand.
Oh?
We have a piece of cloth. It was in
Bradick's hand.
Bradick's hand.
Really? Persephone
Yep.
pulls that out of her pouch and passes that to Berlin, and she, unfolds it and looks at it and furrows her brow. I'm not familiar with this symbol. You found this elsewhere on the farm, you said?
So that symbol was in Bradick's hand, clutched in his hand, like he had grabbed it off of someone, and
Interesting.
it was in his hand. The one on this messenger, or assume somebody of the sort, he had a pack, and on his cloak had the same symbol.
Yeah, he met an untimely end in the swing gate,
Yeah.
as Sif referred to it.
But in his pack, he had
Was it a slam gate?
trimmer
Yeah,
paste.
slime gate.
Tremor paste. Again, this is something that would just cause a mild inconvenience to the quick and most undead. Wouldn't even feel this. This is makes no sense.
Is there a more potent concoction made of these things? Are these ingredients to a more sinister device
If they were mixed together.
with maybe something else?
That is most concerning. I am not aware of anything that could come of this. As I said, it's not my specialty, but, well, as a Bloodlord, I of course have many contacts even within Grey Dirge that can help me suss this out, but I'm afraid that I just don't know. I'm going to have to do some more digging. I'll have my agents look into some leads here locally, but in the meantime, I believe that the terms of our agreement have been fulfilled. Not 100% to my liking, but I am a Bloodlord of my word. You know, please don't ever take it that I wouldn't be. I will go ahead and sign over the deed to Kalak's Manor to you. Again, this is a manor I came in possession of due to a misconstruement, you might say, of the inheritance of the manor. Poor Kalak himself, he was a collector. I'm not sure of what, but when he met his unfortunate demise, I believe it was a case of exposure, he meant to pass the manor down to his children, but they came and stayed for a day or two and then left and abdicated any rights to the manor at all. And of course, as Bloodlord of the region, it fell to me to oversee the overall the ultimate use of this manor. And I thought, well, what better way to reward someone as new potential, let's say, apprentices, maybe?
Have any of your agents know anything about why they would abdicate this property?
Oh, they
Seems
didn't.
odd.
They didn't really say. They just said they don't want it and left. My guess is they just didn't like it.
Can I try to see if she's trying to hide the truth from me?
Sure, but if you're concerned about any kind of danger, I can assure you that, well, there are some rumors going around that strange creatures have in fact taken up residence in the manor I'm giving you, and I'm happy to inform you, those rumors are true. No one can ever say that working with Berlin Haudoli would be boring. I mean, if they did, well, they lied. If you don't mind, Murk, if you could please bring the deed, and well, we'll need a quill and ink, if you don't mind. And then she asked Reacher to bring more pastries, more tea, and perhaps would you care for a goblet of the special vintage?
Sure.
I'm happy to oblige. Please, Reacher. He goes off and brings you a goblet of wild blood. And after a few
Fine
moments,
red
Murk
wine.
comes with the deed, and Berlin takes the quill and with a very like elaborate flourish signs her name on the deed, and you know it lays out how she is bequeathing this. I don't know if bequeathing is technically the right word because she's not dead, but she's passing this to you and granting you possession and deed of the manor and the acreage of land, 1 acre of the land surrounding said manor, currently known as Kalak's Manor. Are you ready to sign away your life, as they say? Just here on the line, right here. One at a time, if you don't mind.
Some of us are already dead.
I'm taking time to
Well, you know.
very thoroughly read the contract. I also want to make sure that all of my members or partners here are going to get equal equity in this estate, and that there are no squatters' rights involved with the current residents that are residing within the manor that they don't have any legal justification to remain there. That they could be evicted.
I appreciate your attention to detail. I can assure you everything is on the up and up, but by all means, please review. We can enjoy some more tea, I suppose, as your colleague overlooks the legalities of a blood lord's contract. And she looks at Murk, and Murk just kind of very slightly shakes his head. More pastries, Lysander?
Of course.
I wouldn't imagine you would pass them.
They're delicious.
Who signs first?
If he does not, I will. Like if he's when he finishes it, if he doesn't like finish and then sign, I'll sign first.
So you said you were rolling something, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but you were trying to see if she was lying, or if there's something maybe
just a perception to see if
inconsistent?
she was trying to bold face through something that she's not revealing to us.
All right, by all means, you can make a perception to sense motive against a bloodlord's DC.
It was 15, so
It's pretty good. You are not finding anything in the contractual language to indicate that there is any risk of taking on ownership of this manor,
Except if the creatures within inside.
except for the
said
creatures
manor.
inside, which there are no squatters' rights written into this particular
Geb
contract.
doesn't have strong sanctuary laws. That's good.
Yeah, you're just going to have to deal with it.
Are you signing?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna have to take time with the contract to incorporate it, to sign it,
That is
and
very
then
true.
de-incorporate it after the fact. So, I suppose I would do that as I'm reading it. So,
Sure. Yeah, we could say that 10 minutes of you reviewing the contract, you are also incorporating it into an incorporeal piece of paper.
Let's just say he better have signed it before he decorporeal.
Yeah, which means that probably means Bess ought to go ahead and
Yeah.
sign
I
it.
say, could you pass it
Yeah,
to me?
I was like, once it's incorporeal, she can interact with it, right?
Yeah. Lara would be able to sign it in that form. So, should she choose to?
We're gonna have a whole ghost section in the manor. It's like this is all slightly incorporeal
Yeah,
stuff that
this
they've
is- yeah.
interacted with.
Right.
We gotta buy 2 of everything.
That's what you get with some ghosts at the
Ghost
table.
time. Narc.
Okay, so after Mert signs, Lara signs. Do you
Yeah.
review it at all, or do you just?
No, and in fact, like when Mert hands it over, she's like not even paying attention initially, and and so, but she'll take it and okay, sure. If I need to sign it, I'll sign it. Like I'm just tired of talking about this death, and then I can turn it back to corporeal for whoever. I'll just kind of take it, turn it back, and just kind of toss it on the little table there.
Okay. So yeah, after you drop it, after about 10 minutes, it does start to reform into a corporeal piece of parchment that otherwise corporeal creatures, whether quick or dead, can review and sign as needed,
Well, I guess we're just gonna sit here and eat pastries for 10 minutes.
at least.
nobody had a ghost touch pen with them to. Okay, just checking.
I don't see it on anybody's sheet. Lysander, you said you wanted to get
Maybe.
right at signing it. Okay.
She tosses it on the table there, and as soon as it forms back, Lysander has a pen and quill in his hand, and he's just with flash.
Okay. You pass it over to Persephone, and she kind of holds a pastry in her mouth and wipes her hands off on her breeches and signs real quickly and passes it on and continues to eat the pastry and drink the tea. Oh, I'm sorry, the blood.
Sign with a little flourish.
Fantastic. So with that means you are now in possession of Kalak's Manor. It lies just about an hour south of town. If you like, I know that, well, daylight is not too far off, maybe a couple hours based on what I can see outside the windows. If you'd like to rest here in the manor, you're perfectly welcome to rest here for the day and then, journey at the night. I do know that Persephone is, unable to travel in the sunlight. And
If you don't mind.
certainly, we have guest
Since-
quarters that are perfectly suited to my new apprentices.
Since we don't know what's awaiting us quite,
That is true.
We should probably rest and start anew.
All right. So with that, she has Mjörk show you to various private chambers for each of you that are suited for the type of rest that you would need. So unless there's anything that anybody wants to do on this particular day while they're resting, doesn't sound like it. So
And just in the morning, I'm going to throw those bones on what this what these creatures and how formidable these things are going to be.
okay. So yeah, as you wake up, you sleep through the day, get a very nice, comfortable rest. You're obviously safe as houses in Berlin's Manor, and Lysander wakes up and performs this ritual
Yep.
to get a sense of what. Now you said this was kind of like a yes or
It's
no.
kind of a yes, no, kind of like, like, should I be afraid of these? Should these things, should these things, I rolled a 1, so you can tell me whatever you want.
You're gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
The sense you're getting from the bones is that it should be just an easy, clean sweep of some regular old pest. Maybe
Love it.
some bugs, maybe some other vermin. Who knows?
No,
But you're not getting a clear picture.
Sure. Nothing to worry about.
All right.
Nothing
So you
to worry about.
wrap up your bones.
Wrap up my bones, hook them on my bag, and
You guys gather in the Manor's great room. Berlin tells you to have a safe trip, and I'm going to have my agents, like I said, look into this. And if you find anything that, or think of anything that can assist in this investigation, please be sure to let me know. Otherwise, I'll be contacting you as soon as I find something out.
perfect.
As
In the
we head
meantime-
out, I hand the bound, recompleted, revised report to Miss Haldelli of what took place at the farm
This
for
is-
her records.
Scans. This looks very thorough, Mert. Thank you for the detailed report. I'll be sure to review it when I get some time, which is, well, a rare commodity for a bloodlord of my stature. But at any rate, I appreciate the effort you put into this. I will certainly at least have Mjörk give it a once over, and then perhaps pass it on to me if there's anything of great import. But I do appreciate the hard work, believe me. And sets it down.
By the fireplace, or
on a desk off to the side. Not dismissively, but clearly she's a
Dismissively.
very busy woman.
Hey, she said somebody would read it.
Yeah, and there might be something of detail in there that may cue this investigation into this brain grit and tremor paste. I had to say that really slowly because I didn't want to trip up and say brain rot, because I keep reading that when I read this in the book. Okay, thanks, Gen Z or whatever you are. Okay. So you guys are all set to head out. Night has fallen. Make your way, like I said, it's about an hour or so southwest of Grey Dirge proper. And as you approach the manor, you can see that it's a red kind of stone, maybe brick building as you're approaching. It's kind of a squarish building. The red stone has bones incorporated into the masonry, kind of similar to how Mistress Haldoli's home is. But one interesting feature that you can make out, for those of you especially with dark vision, for those of you with low light, it might be hard to see this feature in detail. But at the top of the building is a kind of a rough-shaped red stone that just kind of sits at the top on this kind of cupola or something, like at the top of the building. And there are rivulets of like what looks like melted red glass kind of pouring down the sides of the building and down to the ground, almost as if this stone at the top is melting or
Crying.
bleeding over the building. Those of you, you can tell that it is dark outside, but it's probably red, a deep, dark red. So you have red stone building, bones incorporated into the masonry, ribs, skulls, femurs, all coming up to this cupola with this red stone. It's a very interesting type of architecture that you haven't really seen. Even those of you from Mekatar haven't really seen anything quite like this.
Surely they didn't give this place up because it was haunted. That would be kind of silly.
The deed does say you have property of 1 acre, but there is a low wrought iron fence surrounding the entire property, the yard. However, it is rusted and dilapidated looking. There are weeds kind of growing up in the property yard. Overgrown vines kind of are growing along the ground and up the building.
Got our professional weed whacker over here.
Yeah, right. Did you bring that?
No,
hoe?
I did not.
Didn't bring the incorporated hoe.
Really?
Okay. That's all right. The manor itself does not have any windows.
As in the building itself is just solid brick. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, Persephone will not ever have to be in the light.
That's right.
I was thinking maybe they were all blown out or something, but no, there's just no windows. Okay.
No, no windows.
Cool.
From the outside, it does appear that the manor itself is kind of just one big kind of rectangle. And like I said, no windows, and it appears to be only 1 story.
Okay.
There is a rough cobblestone path overgrown with grass and weeds leading up to a heavy wooden door set in a frame of bones. The door knockers, I'm assuming you approach through the gate. The door knockers are actually real skulls with gaping jaws, and iron rungs have been hung in their mouth as door knockers.
Oof.
Interesting.
Oh, I should mention that Berlin did give you a key after the signing of the deed. That's important to know.
Yeah, because we got to unlock this door.
The key itself, the bow of the key is a red glass marble, and the key itself. Well, let's see here.
Is it a skeleton key? Sorry.
The shank itself is iron, but the bow looks like a skeletal hand clutching a red marble.
Weird.
Yeah, so it's not quite a skeleton key; it's a skeleton hand with the iron shank and then the what is that? The teeth of the key. I don't know my key terms.
I'll walk up to the door with the key.
Okay.
Key in the door.
Fits perfectly into the door, and you click it open.
Yep.
And will open onto the manor. Those of you outside, as he's getting the key out, and oh yeah, it's this glass marble. You do notice at the southern end of the building there is an artificial pond, kind of this long rectangular decorative pond. Unfortunately, it's overgrown with weeds and algae and tall grass. There are insects buzzing about it. And at the far end, there are some tombstones at the end of this pool that are kind of leaning in the dirt. And I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and we'll get the manor up here as you unlock the door and open onto potentially your new home.
If we survive.
What? Okay, so we said that Lysander was at the door opening the front door.
That is correct.
Who is coming up right with him or behind him? We'll have Persephone right there watching the door just in case. What the hell is squeaking?
I don't know. It's got to be the floor.
Is it the squeaky door?
floorboards.
Yeah, the floorboards.
Apparently.
And we'll have the rest out here.
Yes, it's you.
It's my sound effects?
It's a squeaking floor. That's all it is.
Interesting. Okay. I had no idea that. Okay, we'll go with it. Maybe they don't hear that sound just yet. What the hell? Squeaky floorboards. Okay.
I'm not a fan of squeaky floorboards.
Yeah, me neither. So clearly there's going to need some reworking on the floors
Yep.
to repair your manor. That's just
I'm calling Sif.
the first.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, where are our zombie crew?
Just saying.
Sif's got a job to do. So you open up this the doors here onto a small foyer. The small foyer is lined with low benches. There is a cracked mirror hanging on the wall opposite of the door, and a 5-foot wide bone archway leads to the north. So you have
That
kind of this
mirror's gotta
entryway here.
Sorry.
What's that?
I said that mirror's got to go. It's broken.
Okay, so
It is broken.
We're already.
Do you immediately start
No.
to just take it
so
off and throw it away?
I walk straight into the foyer, straight to the mirror.
No.
Okay.
Won't. Make a note. That mirror
Okay.
has got to go.
And like, is it just like shattered beyond repair? Like, how is it broken?
It's just like a big long crack in it with like some spidering coming
Okay.
out of the glass. And the reflection kind of comes back in this broken, kind of misshapen version of Lysander.
So Lysander just walks up to this mirror, and you see his gloved hand kind of come up, and it's like tracing the crack in the mirror, but he's tracing the crack in the mirror, but he's more looking at his reflection in the mirror. I mean, he's clearly, not very often do you get to see himself in a mirror. Like, so he's got this big plague doctor mask on with all this, stuff coming out from underneath of it, his glowing kind of green colored eyes.
Sure.
And so he's just kind of like looking at it, and like he almost like I don't know, maybe the sense of longing that that they were talking about on the walk here. He just kind of is tracing this mirror, like he was something that wasn't this before. Like he's very kind of like lost in this moment of seeing himself looking through that kind of place.
Mildly disturbing. What's everybody else doing as they see this? I think
I definitely point out to Ophelia that I have an eye for numbers, but not necessarily an eye for design. So perhaps I'll leave that to you. Whether or not the furnishings need to be changed or not.
But you have an eye for note-taking.
I suppose you're right. I'll start a list,
Inventory.
of course.
One
of course.
broken mirror.
You just made the list.
Replace broken mirror per Ophelia.
okay.
I mean,
per my
I can put it
last
in your
note.
room if you want it.
Sorry, I'm taking notes.
All right. What is Alara doing as so Persephone will kind of come in and step at that kind of archway, just kind of like immediately looking for danger, as Lysander is
So
weirding out in the mirror.
he is.
Yeah.
He is.
What about Alara? What,
Alara's, she's going to kind of come in last, just very, very cautious, like maybe even more nervous than they've seen her before. Just kind of like doing that nervous like look around, like taking stock of where everything is. And
Okay. Since you're taking stock of where everything is, go ahead and give me a perception.
Okay.
I'll let you roll it non-secretly.
Ooh.
Just to, since you're,
let's see.
as you're walking in and you see Lysander is in the mirror and Persephone is getting defensive, Mert's taking fastidious notes.
Okay, 15.
15. As you're walking in, you notice off in the distance near one of those gravestones, the earth is kind of mounded up, like almost too small to be like the top of a freshly dug grave. And maybe no, just a mound of dirt. And you come inside.
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay.
I'm going to step further and peek around Persephone to see what more
Okay.
is in there.
Sure, yeah. Through the archway, you can see what basically is maybe a coat room. There's an intricate armoire standing on the western wall in this small room off the foyer. The armoire doors resemble a massive rib cage. So So you like open the ribs
That's awesome.
to this
That's kind of cool.
coat room. So you head on in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of checking out this armoire over here.
That definitely stays.
Mert is probably right behind you taking his notes on the. Do you open said armoire?
I am going to open said armoire.
Okay. You open it up, and inside there's nothing but a collection of old, moldy coats covered in cobwebs and dust.
Well,
I think as the group starts to kind of thin out there in the foyer and starts to move into the rest of the building, Lysander will kind of
coming in this way.
Yeah, he'll just kind of catch himself, like idiot, like, and he like pulls his hand down from the mirror and he kind of shakes off what he was doing, and then he follows everyone into the room.
Okay, kind of catty corner to that coat room, for lack of a better term. The room with that bone armoire is a larger room with cushioned benches lining the southern and eastern walls, forming a comfortable, if not dusty, seating nook. There are picture frames that line the wall above the benches, but dust obscures whatever is inside those frames.
I'll walk over to how many picture frames are there?
A number of them.
So I'll walk over to like the middle one.
Okay, sure.
And just like wipe my gloved hand across the picture frame to reveal what's in the picture.
Okay. Underneath a thick layer of dust, and when you pull your glove, what color gloves are these?
They're black.
Oh, okay. So you can see the gray of who knows how many years of just dust and but underneath is actually a sketch, an intricate sketch of some kind of a landscape. This particular one looks like a barren desert. As you're looking at this, you notice that there is, just one element of this sketch that doesn't quite fit, that maybe doesn't belong. Like if you're looking at a desert scene, there's a well-hidden unnatural element to it, like perhaps one of the cactuses or shrubs that are drawn into this landscape. You see faces staring out, like the faces are drawn into the structure of that plant.
Okay.
I knew a guy who had a coat like that. Sorry.
Persephone wheels around like, what does that have to do with?
I'll try to point it out.
Okay. Persephone doesn't really seem interested in art. That's not why we're here. She said that there were problems here.
Well, after you then.
I'm keeping a watch on you guys as you explore this stuff. But she's looking out ahead.
What is it you saw?
I'll point it out to everyone. If you walk up to this picture here that I've cleaned off.
I'm taking a look at it.
Right here in this cactus. It's got some creepy faces.
Once I see the faces, I will remark that I knew somebody who had a coat like that.
Okay.
I'll go to one of the other ones and brush it off.
All right. So again, are you wearing gloves, or are you just barehanded touching the this caked layer of dust from who knows how long?
Barehanded, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't have any gloves.
So this reveals another landscape drawing. This one seems to be of a mist-shrouded forest. But the trees, as you're looking at the trees, Lysander's already pointed out there's this weird thing. The trees here, as the roots kind of gnarl out and go down into the swampy earth, they're actually made of like bony fingers digging down in the dirt.
Oh, this has bony hands and fingers on this one.
Alara, you're still hanging out in that foyer.
I'm following. Yeah.
Okay. just keeping a close.
Yeah, I'm keeping. Yeah, so I'm following them in because I'm noticing the pictures as well, and so Laura's gonna walk up
Oh, okay.
to wipe one off and realize she can't.
I'll wipe the one off that she tried to wipe off.
Okay. Again, it's another landscape piece, and as you're looking at it, there seems to be incorporated into the texture or the structures that are drawn into this landscape, something that just is unnatural and just doesn't fit. In this one, this one is like a mountain scene, and there are storm clouds that are dark on the horizon, and then there's just one cloud up here in the corner that's going, like, seems to be flowing in the opposite direction, and inside it you can make out like facial features of some kind of otherworldly being.
Yeah, this place is cheery.
Well, hopefully, if we don't like the way it's decorated, we can change it in the future. But Persephone, I think we should probably make sure there isn't anyone in here that is looking to do us harm.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
We should probably, I don't know, I guess pick the pace up that we're trying to clear this building.
Yes, perhaps someone should check that door behind me. And she starts looking up as she steps into this kind of like interior courtyard area. You can see as she's walking in, this is a very large room. In the center of the room is some benches, stone benches, desiccated potted plants, all surrounding a shallow, dried up pool at the center of the room. There are arches of twisted bone that follow the curve up of the walls high into the ceiling to a large chunk of red glass that's open in the ceiling of this large kind of courtyard. There's no light really coming through it except for whatever starlight or moonlight would be outside, but that light is hitting that red stone and almost magnifying. So there's a red kind of tint to this room in here. And Persephone's looking at this and says, I think I'm really going to love this place.
Yeah. Let's start working our way around.
There is a door here.
Yes, that one.
Okay, so you open up this door.
Yes.
All right, I will reveal this chamber, potentially.
Potentially.
Okay, it's a small, narrow wash closet. Just a simple bathroom that apparently will need a very thorough cleaning before you move in here.
Immediately close the door.
Okay.
That's...
As you close that door, from off in the distance, everybody hears loud clattering of like crockery or some kind of dinnerware smashing against something hard. And you hear like a squeak, like an animal's noise. And then you hear like a muffled voice. Ha-ha!
What direction did it come from?
Seems to be coming from off this way. And you can see as you kind of come around the corner, there is this, what appears to be a dining area. There's a long table surrounded with chairs. Numerous dusty, comfortable chairs flank a long dining table.
Look, if there's anyone in here that doesn't belong, we are the new owners of this building, and I would recommend that you show yourself immediately.
Okay, you say that. There is some more skittering, squeaking, another crash of crockery. How about thee?
Oh boy.
That's destruction of property that does not belong to you.
There doesn't seem to be any response.
Great.
Just it's getting louder, whatever is going on in that room.
I'll step towards the dining hall and
I want to walk up behind him, like behind Mert.
say there's no need for violence. We're just here to look over the home and clean things up. I can give you a diplomacy.
Okay, sure.
About a 10.
Okay. So you're speaking out as you're approaching this room, and as you kind of get to where you can see into the corner of this room, you see that there is a massive swarm of some kind of rodents underneath the table and swarming up the chairs, onto the top of the table, all over the place. And clinging to one of the shelves with some of the dinnerware is a severed hand that's grabbing a plate with 2 fingers, hurling it at this pile of rats and cursing at them. Be gone! And plates smashing into the pile of rats.
Okay.
And that seems like a good place to roll for initiative.
Yeah, it does.
What on earth?
I want to know how the hand is talking.
So, and I'm not sure that Ophelia can see that it's a hand just yet, but as this develops, that is a very curious question. How in the world is this hand talking as we move into a combat? I'm going to pull up my stats here, and here we go. Let me get out
The rat swarm.
the rats. Yeah.
I love it.
What good decrepit manor doesn't have a swarm of rodents to have to deal with, right?
Clearly.
I suppose.
Okay, so because swarms, well, you'll see as this develops. I'm going to represent said swarm with this underneath the table here in the corner is this massive grouping of these rats.
Sure.
They take up this entire area, just swarming all over the floor. They're coming out of the floorboards. They're climbing up the table. They're kind of leaping up at this hand that's up on the shelf, throwing the plates. Whew, all right, let's roll for this swarm o' rats. Oh my gosh.
Don't forget you got to roll for Persephone as well.
I do remember that. Okay, oh boy. All right, let's just go right around the table, Mert.
How about a 9?
Okay. How about Ophelia?
How about Mert and I switch places? 21.
21. Okay, that's pretty good. Lysander.
I've a 18.
All right. Let's see, Persephone, that's me. Okay. And Alara.
19.
19. Okay. Let's take a look at Persephone's stats right quick. Make sure I give her her full perception bonus to initiative because I don't want to shortchange her at all. Okay. All right.
You can't make those faces.
So Persephone tied with Ophelia, so would you like to defer to Persephone or would you want to go ahead of her?
I would like to go ahead of her.
Okay, I'll make you 21A. Now let me get these in order. And I suppose I should roll for this silly hand too. Okay.
Shock.
I mean, I think I would have been a little bit closer to them investigating.
I think so too. We'll go ahead and get everything in a kind of a more tactical position as I get this initiative squared away.
Certainly one of the
okay.
last things I expected to see coming around the corner.
Right.
The source of the sound was not what I
Oh, the
thought.
hand.
Yes, have at thee is not a phrase I expect from a disembodied hand. But
Okay, so it is the top of round 1, and it's actually this swarm of rodents will get to go first, and they're intent on this severed hand that has already started attacking them, and it is taunting them, and as it's grabbing plates and throwing them, you see those of you that are close enough, and I think everybody will be close enough, there's no mouth on this hand. Whenever it talks and shouts curses at this swarm of rats, or says have at thee, the tissue surrounding the radius and ulna kind of squelches around the bone. And the air being forced through that tissue around the bone creates this voice.
Okay.
that ain't right.
Begone, pests!
Okay, then.
The rats start swarming up the shelves trying to get at this hand. They're all over the table, the floor, they're coming out of the floorboards. And as they're coming up, you see the hand like starts to like, oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
But like you said, I think everyone would be a little bit closer given the situation and that we're investigating this whole scenario. So that's where we'll put everybody for now, and it is Ophelia's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna move within sight of the rat swarm, and I'm going to cast.
You're going to move into the rat swarm.
No, I said sight.
Okay,
sight.
within sight. Okay.
Where I can
I thought you said
see
I'm going to
them.
move inside the rat swarm. I'm like, that's an
Sight.
interesting tactic.
She's had enough of bloodlords already.
No.
That's pretty sly of you,
No.
Patrick, trying to sabotage your players.
Right?
It's not a competitive game. We've been through this.
And
said
the
you lay
rat
down?
swarm will need to make a basic reflex.
Ooh, a basic reflex save.
You said
For-
you give up?
Probably the
A
hand.
swarm. And probably the hand?
Well, it's a 15-foot cone.
Oh boy. Okay, well let's see where you're at. Okay, so
I'm not
15-foot
aiming
cone.
for him.
Yeah, so
It's-
15-foot cone will hit the edge of the swarm here. He's kind of up in here on the shelf in this corner.
Cool.
So he'll be just out of it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so
Basic reflex.
basic reflex. Okay. All right, how's about a 24?
How's
I-
about no?
I dislike you.
So it doesn't sound like a critical success, just a success.
Correct.
So what is it we're doing?
Burning hands.
Oh, okay.
So they will take half. So 4.
Okay. 4 fire damage.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
To all the creatures in the area.
Yes. So that the edge of that swarm again, it's kind of hard to like delineate. They're not like a perfectly square formation, right? They're just this teeming mass of rats. You let out this cone of fire that comes out of your hands, your outstretched hands, and it just burns into the edge of this swarm, and you see dozens of rats just scorch and burn and squeal, and some of them flop to the floor dead as they blacken and char at this damage. You did 4 points of damage, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what these spells are for, is for swarms.
Uh-huh. And when you do this, you see that this is super effective. Okay.
Great.
So move, and that's a 2-action spell?
Yes.
Okay, great.
That's all for me.
That's so Persephone. Persephone looks back as this gout of flame. She'll. Is it safe for me to run in there?
Probably not.
She'll get right up to the edge of the table, right up to the edge of this swarm of rats, and bring her sword down. Scythe onto this. I'm not sure. It's cocked.
Aim low.
So she sweeps the scythe across this swarm of rodents. Oh boy. Okay. She is a lot to hit. Okay, so she does sweep the blade into the bodies of the rats. But as it cuts through, it does seem to like snag upon some of the bodies, but it doesn't seem to really gain purchase as it comes out a little bit bloodied, but not nearly enough.
Not enough.
I need an area effect.
And then what she'll do is she's like, if you're going to do that again, I'm getting out of the way. And she comes back out into the courtyard. That brings us to Ilara.
Okay. Laura, I think I'm close enough. We'll see. I can move a little if I need to, but I'm going to cast Figment. And
Interesting.
I'm trying to visualize exactly where the hand and the swarm is in relationship to that, but I'm trying to cast a Figment in between the two, essentially, to create a diversion.
Okay.
And she's going to create a large, very large, like larger than normal, black cat, but very, very crude.
Okay. So, imagine, if you will, the hand is like up on the shelf, like this.
Yeah.
So it's probably several feet up off the ground.
Yeah, and I can go
And-
up to a 5-foot cat, so.
Oh, okay, that's a very large
Yeah,
cat.
it's definitely larger than normal.
Okay, so are you
huge.
putting this cat like on the shelf with the crockery next to the hand, or on
Yeah,
the shelf below it, or?
Maybe the shelf below it. Yeah,
Okay.
something where I'm just trying to get in between to get them to switch directions.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
No,
So
don't
you
make it
create
go
this
towards me.
figment.
Oh, it's probably a bad enough figment that it, which I'm not exactly sure, like, because it says you can create a diversion, gaining +2 circumstance bonus to your deception check. So,
So yeah, what this spell does, because you've now created this cat,
yes.
you're using this to deceive,
Deceive,
I'm
so I'm using
guessing,
my-
this
okay.
swarm to leave the hand alone and maybe focus
Yes.
on this cat. Obviously a more natural enemy than a severed hand. So what you'll do is roll a deception check.
Okay.
So roll d20, add your deception, which if you have no ranks in it at all, it's just your charisma modifier.
Okay.
And you'll get a +2 to it because of the nature of your spell.
Okay. Oh, my deception is +6, so nice.
Oh, okay.
And then you said a +2 to that, okay?
+2 to that due to the spell.
Go well. Oh, no, 7? Okay, so 7, 13, 15.
15 to create a diversion. Okay, outstanding. Okay, so that's a move and a 2 action to create this diversion against. Okay, so that's a deception,
That's
so it'll be
cool.
against their perception DC of the rats. Interesting strategy. Okay, let's just check what their perception Okay. All right, what was your total again? I'm gonna write it down so I remember.
17. Wait, yes. 7 plus 6, 13. No, sorry, 15.
15? Okay. Very cool. So this very large cat appears on the shelf right below. It doesn't seem to knock over any of the crockery or plates that's on that shelf. And the hand kind of like perks up at that. And then squelching out of the wrist, you hear, "Well played." Lysander.
Great. I will, with one hand, I will pull the glove off my hand, revealing what looks to be a normal human hand at the moment. And I will touch the back of Mert. And I will
Okay.
cast a rank 1 spell called Runic Weapon. And I will touch Mert, and energy will transfer from me, and his blade will light up with that sickly green glow that is from Lysander's eyes. And for that's a 2 action, and my
Okay.
last action I'll cast Shield.
Oh, all right.
So touch him, that green glow comes up through my hand, and my other hand comes up, and that big mist of gas just kind of comes out, and then it separates and puts like a force field in front of me. Mert, your weapon is essentially going to be treated as a +1 striking weapon for 1 minute.
Whoa. Okay.
That's very cool. And it is Mert's turn. Perfect timing.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, because I was trying to approach this with diplomacy to try to calm down the situation, I didn't have my greatsword in hand. So I am going to have to take a moment to draw that for my back.
Okay.
When I do, I realize these sickly green runes running up the blade. Maybe just to glance over my shoulder to see Lysander.
And as you look at him, the glow in his eyes is gone. Like it's now just like black in where his eyes are.
So then with the remaining...
What?
Rats! I hate rats! I hate rats! And just start shifting violently, and I'll run in... I guess I can... So, I'll treat the rat swarm as, like, difficult terrain, basically, right? Can I move through the rats? Or do I have to make a check to do so?
So it's like technically a creature, so
Okay,
yeah.
so I can't... Okay.
Yeah, you would have
So
to.
then I'll just move up to them,
Okay,
and then, yeah, swing down on them.
okay. So this will be your third action to
Yep.
swing on the swarm.
Okay, how about an 18 to hit the rats?
An 18 is going to connect with this mass of writhing rodent bodies.
It is striking, so dig out
It's a
another die.
plus one striking weapon.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, so that's a damage dice?
Plus one striking weapon.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, how about 15 points of slashing damage for these?
Okay.
Rats.
And it lasts for 1 minute.
As you bring that blade down and it swipes through this pile of rodents, it hacks through a number of them, and they, like, parts of them just kind of go spraying out of the swarm. And the rest of them, kind of seeing that the bulk of their swarm has been killed, burned, slashed to bits, start running for the floorboards and disperse. And the swarm is essentially done for. And now it's this hand's turn. And as it kind of like does this on the shelf, seeing the rats either swarming down, a few of them are like going for the shelf where this cat was, or still is. They're running up on the shelf, and then they start like going behind or into the shelves, or running back down. He looks around, and
Well played, all of you. Congratulations. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was afraid I was done for.
and we'll go ahead and drop out of combat, because this guy doesn't seem to be aggressive towards you at all.
Okay.
Okay.
It's well met. My name is Argoon the Annihilator. You may call me Argoon the Annihilator. Whom do I have the privilege of thanking for my timely rescue?
I am Lysander Darkthorn.
Alara? Alara Wraithsong.
Well met, Lysander.
Alara, and each time he says well met, he's like giving like this little kind of like bow almost.
Curtsy.
Alara's gonna curtsy.
Do not
back.
refer to it as a curtsy. This is a bow. What is your name, little ghost?
After taking a moment to kind of resolve back to small, normal Mert.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm Mert. Mert Nellis. It's excellent to make your acquaintance.
And yours as well. And my lady?
I'm Ophelia Evanhart. A pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure as well. I'm charmed, I'm sure.
And gives a very long bow. And the same to Persephone. He introduces himself to Persephone. Persephone introduces herself to
Argoon the Annihilator. What are you doing here in Karlak's Manor?
We are now the owners of said manor.
That makes no sense.
And he starts picking up the crockery and the plates and kind of setting it back to rights on the shelf.
Anyway,
Why does it make no sense?
Yes.
because you are not Karlak, you are not owner of the manor. Anyway, I must tidy up.
And he goes about like tidying up and seems to just kind of ignore you.
Okay.
Yes. This is quite unfortunate. Lots of broken crockery.
Does Kalak reside here still?
He is basically ignoring you, giving you the cold ulna.
Giving me give me the finger, huh?
No, just ignoring you.
Yeah. Okay.
No finger gestures
Oh,
yet.
Okay. All right.
Yet.
Cool.
Well.
He seems particularly focused.
Yeah, he's climbing up and down the shelves. He sees the cat.
Oh,
Pause, freezes for a second.
I just move down here to whatever this set of doors is. I just leave the dining area.
Yeah.
We got more stuff to look through.
He's good to go. He can keep cleaning up.
Yes,
Whatever.
yeah.
Okay, so Lysander dismisses him
Yeah.
just as he has been dismissed almost.
100%.
Anybody else saying or doing anything?
I think just pointing out to Argoon, it seems the family has abdicated the property, and that's how we came into possession of it.
Please, you'll refer to me as Argoon the Annihilator.
Yes, of course. Argoon the Annihilator. I'm so sorry. I was just
Quite all right.
explaining.
It's to be expected, I suppose. I'm a ghost.
I was simply explaining that. What's that supposed to mean?
That's racist.
Got a problem with ghosts?
You may continue, I'm sorry.
I was just simply explaining that the family of the manor has abdicated and relinquished ownership back to the state, and that's how we came into ownership of it.
I see. Well, it matters little to me. I must set things to rights. Since you are talking to him, you can give me a diplomacy check.
Bullshit.
Sure. How about a 20? 20.
A 20
It sounded
zero?
like I was going to say something else.
Where I come from, we just say 20, but perhaps it's different for you.
Ghost.
Yes.
Ghosts.
Anyway, he finishes putting the last intact plates to rights on the shelf and climbs down and kind of leaps down onto the table and skitters up to the edge of the table right in front of you. And as he's talking again, that tissue is just kind of squelching around the bone. There's no other way to explain it.
So you said your name was Mert Nellis, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Are you a military man?
No, I'm a bookkeeper, an accountant.
I must say you wielded the sword quite effectively against these pests. I was quite impressed, to be quite honest, for a ghost to wield such a weapon.
I suppose that is Lysander's doing. Seemed to be he empowered my my weapon.
It's fascinating. This Lysander, a friend of yours, or just your charge? Is he your servant?
We're business partners. You see, we're equal owners of this estate.
Owners of this estate, oh dear. Well, I suppose with the way you wield your weaponry, you should be able to take and defend this estate. It has fallen into disrepair, I'm afraid. Master Kullock has not returned. I have not seen him for quite some time.
That's what we're here for, to repair and dwell in the estate. We're certainly would love your assistance.
Well,
rehabilitating the property.
yes, that's all well and good, but you see, I am Argoon the Annihilator. I was a general in the northern armies. I do not assist anyone. You will assist me, actually, in returning this manor to rights.
Lead on, good sir.
Well, I'm going to continue cleaning up the crockery, if you don't mind. But, well, I will tell you a few details of the manor, since you are apparently the new legal owner. You have no knowledge of what happened to Master Kullock?
Not at all.
Oh, for God's sake. I can tell you that Master Kullock was, well, a bit of an eccentric collector of things. I never was quite interested in him. But he did have a secret chamber off of his master bedroom. So I'm not sure what went on in there, but I am aware that he kept his most secret possessions and notes and artwork. He fancied himself some sort of an artist, I suppose, in that room.
Thank you very much for the information. We're certainly interested to learn what all he was collecting. We heard he was a collector of what? I suppose we'll find out.
I could not tell you. Probably some sort of strange art, since he fancied himself an artist, as I said. Sometimes I forget what I just said. I also know that someone hid a body in the basement. Perhaps 2, 3, 30 years ago. Anyway, it's down there behind the secret passage. I heard Master Culloch talking about a secret passage, and there was a bit of a hubbub, and he said never to go down there. But I'm Argoon the Annihilator, and I take orders from no one. I was a general in the northern armies. So I do what I feel, and as I like. But I couldn't find it, sadly. Perhaps you can, though. If you do, please dispose of the corpse. Who shall not have a corpse, present company excluded, in the manor. At any rate, I will get back to setting right about the dining room, and then I will retire to my quarters. Well, good evening.
Kind of politely, thank you, sir, thank you, and step away.
Yes, you will refer to me as Argoon the Annihilator.
Yes, of course, Argoon the Annihilator. Farewell.
Decimated the Nexian armies on the northern front. A century ago, millennia ago.
So you only killed 10% of them? Sorry.
Don't remember. At any rate, I decimated quite a bit, me and my forces on the northern borders. I was a general in the northern armies.
If only I could still test your strength. Perhaps, maybe someday we could arm wrestle.
Oh, I would love that so much. Until then, good luck. Yes, I was the champion of the northern armies from wrestling. You'll not beat me, not Argoon the Annihilator.
Okay, we're gonna go and look at another room.
Okay. So he gets back to setting the crockery right. And you guys have already been exploring around, unless you stop to listen to this conversation.
Sif.
I would say Alara was still in the room, so she's gonna kind of skip over to him, do a little smile really big, do a little curtsy, and leave.
Oh, quite kind. Good luck to you, milady. I am sure we will get better acquainted as time goes on, despite the fact that you are, in fact, a ghost.
What is his deal?
Okay.
I'm opening doors.
Okay, which door would you like to open?
These double doors right here.
All right, so we'll remove the this swarm of rats that you guys demolished so quickly. You're going to come over to this set of double doors here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. We'll reveal said room, and I'll give you a description.
I love it.
Okay. All right. Where is my map? Okay. This room contains a few small brick ovens, butcher counters, stoves, and cauldrons, and other cookware. Everything is in disarray and covered in dust. There are countless tiny clawed tracks leading to and from the room. And basically just a layer of dust caked on the floor, dozens, if not hundreds, of tiny little rodent footprints in the dust, going in and out, in and out.
Huh. Look, we found the kitchen.
You did find the kitchen.
Presumably.
And as you turn to walk away, Ophelia, you notice that there is a very large meat cleaver kind of thunk down into one of the blocks. Mm-hmm. And the handle of the meat cleaver is very similar to the key to the manor. There is like a skeletal hand gripping the blade and like this bone handle that comes out to a nice red marble.
Oh. I'm gonna keep going in. There could be other rooms in here.
Yeah.
Closets, pantry,
Okay, so
something.
you keep coming on into the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, Alara, Mert's over here. Persephone is still like, she sits down on one of the benches and is just staring up at that red light, like watching as the starlight shimmers through this red glass.
I'm gonna pick the cleaver up.
Okay.
Thanks. Got a thing.
This is just more of the kitchen. There is a door here off to Lysander's left. As you guys are exploring this, you grab the cleaver out of the block. Lysander, do you want to open this door?
Push that door open.
Okay. We'll reveal this small chamber here, and we'll describe this room. Okay. This deep walk-in pantry has numerous sturdy, barren shelves. Refuse and animal droppings litter the floor, along with a few torn sacks and moldy food.
We're gonna need a cleaning lady.
I'm just saying.
There are shelves and shelves of supplies. But you do notice, like on the top shelf, is an ornately carved wooden box.
Now, what do we have here?
So you go grab the box.
And it blows up in my hand.
I haven't opened it yet.
The lid of the box is carved to look like two demons facing each other, with their tongues intertwining, and the tongues are carved to look like flames.
Casual.
You open the box.
I will turn around, I'll walk back into the kitchen,
Okay.
and I'll set the box on the table. And I'll say, look what I found in the pantry. Seems the only thing worth anything that we've come across.
And we'll find out what's in that box next time.
Damn.
That's
Man.
it. Episode 3.
I found a
Can I
really.
spend my hero point to find out what's in the box now? Is that what?
I know I racked you guys up with hero points and you didn't even need them. You see? Maybe that diplomacy check with,
Oh, cool. Had it gone poorly, not in your favor, you could have used one, but you rolled well.
Maybe
Quite
I
impressed.
should roll them over.
So thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you very much for coming in. Be sure if you're watching on YouTube to please hit that subscribe button. Also hit that follow and subscribe there on, on Twitch. Subscribe if you can. Check out the Patreon. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern for the Soul Severed campaign right here on the same channel.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that I will be on Barnabas Brushes Wednesday. It's been a little rough with some out of game things going on, but I'm going to try and make it back to the camera and paint some stuff for you guys. And then Thursday, we'll see what happens Thursday with Overwatch. Until then,
What about the podcast?
I'm so glad you brought that up. Please tell me real
Sure.
quick about the podcast
Sure.
before we go.
I promised you all the podcast update, so here we go. The first episode of Bloodlords is now posted on anywhere that you can get all of your podcasts from. It should have posted at 7 this morning. So if you are just tuning in or you just caught us, you can go back and find the podcast of episode 1 and get caught up and get kind of see how we all met, how we all ended up at this crazy ass farm. And then moving forward, Wednesday of this week, we will drop episode 2. And then from that point moving forward, the Bloodlords campaign podcast will drop on Fridays, every Friday. So you can watch us on Monday, and then you can listen to us on Friday and get kind of rehashed about whatever it is that we did, so that way you're ready for the next Monday.
Life pops up.
Yep.
Listen to us over the weekend while
Absolutely.
you're hanging out and
Cutting the grass or making dinner.
And we're only on episode 3.
100%,
so
right?
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Brand new show, episode 3. That's not that hard to catch up to.
Right.
That's
I
right.
mean, you could blaze through it in a few hours, a good car ride, and get caught right up. But so for episode 1 is out now. Episode 2 will be out Wednesday at 7 in the morning, and then Friday we'll have episode 3, and then you
awesome.
could blaze through them all and get caught up and be right with us come next Monday.
Yep, in less the space of a week, you'll be caught up to the story.
That's right.
And we'll be ready to roll on Monday. And while you're listening, be sure to like those podcasts out there as well. That
Absolutely.
helps to push that to more and more listeners
Absolutely.
as well. So we appreciate you guys out there. Until then, have a great night, everyone. Take care. Sarah, get better. We'll see you next time.
thanks everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good evening.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, did you say good morning before you go to bed?
Oh, jeez.